Good evening, people. Mick Ruby here, MUFC Realist TV. We're not supposed to do a live stream today. We're supposed to have a day off, chill and relax. But you know us. We don't shy away for calling a spade, and always looking for the truth. And today it's just been one shit show after another. Journalists backtracking, trying to downplay certain things. Where's the truth? The truth is always in the middle. The truth is always there. The devil is in the details. And the fact is that, a credible person such as Rio Ferdinand back himself to come out to say that the deal is imminent and it's pointing towards Sheikh Jassim way. And then Reuters, who hasn't really published much about this saga, comes out and back themselves as well. That is an exclusivity, that is Sheikh Jassim. But what we've seen in the past 12 hours at least is that certain publications and journalists are actually shitting their pants and trying to downplay everything that's been published out there, right, including the registration of the 92 holding foundation in UK, trying to say everything is fake news, but at the same time, of course, they cannot backtrack the narrative what to pick to choose to run with, since the sales takeover started. So therefore, we're having a little bit of a therapy session with our global fan base. I've been backed here today by no other than my trusted wingman. I mean, of course, it's Jarvis Cocker. How are you doing, Jarvis?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing fine, Mick. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Surviving mental health, but also, what would I do without Paul White, the financial expert, our own financial expert? How you doing, Paul?
I wouldn't call me an expert, but I'll go with it.
No, but Paul, you and I, we've been doing a lot of podcasts, and you've been also master of the spaces together with Mike, with Rizzo, with Banksy, and all them. While I've been trying to sort of focus on the YouTube channel as well. So, but I've been listening to some of your spaces, and one thing that we do have in common is that we're trying to provide logic and reasoning and sort of a motion sickness pill to people, trying to say people calm down, like this is a media and spin, and don't let them win over you, right? So guys, welcome to the stream. We're gonna have fun today. We're gonna call a spade, and I guess Paul, you have a rant to say as well. So what you're drinking, raise your glass. Raise your glass, because we'll be back in 10 seconds. Good evening, gentlemen. Thank you so much for such a short notice for coming in, Paul White. Let me just do this. Let me blow some smoke, because we like smoke screens and props, do we? This is what's going on today, Paul. I understand how you're feeling today, Paul, because I haven't been able to catch up with you since we had our podcast last, and everything has been crashing down right now. Stock price is going mad. Journalists are shitting themselves and backtracking. Keegans, you have Ben Jacobs and all them jazz, running contradictional stories. For me, Paul, it sounds like, yeah, I want to be the first one to break this story, isn't it? Or what are you saying?
I honestly can't get my head around it, to be totally honest, at the moment. But, look at the timeline today. The first indication we get of anything's going to happen today was Rio Ferdinand coming out, doing a video, attaching his Qatari flag to his mask and saying, something's happening. He believes it's going to be Sheikh Jassim, and he has people telling him that they believe it's going to be Qatar. And as a matter of fact, you have to look at Ferdinand. He knows people inside United. He's very well connected inside United. Actually, he was the first one to break the news that Ronaldo was coming back, when every single journalist was talking about him going to City. He is also an ambassador for Visit Qatar.
Yep.
Take that what you will. Then the big news drops. Please, somebody say the name again, because my dyslexic brain will not let me pronounce the publicator of it. Reuters, that's it.
Reuters.
Now, Reuters is the most reliable, respected article,
yes,
and it's their biggest editor for their mergers and acquisitions editor does a story. The second that story drops, the stock market gets frozen. Now, you do not. How many stories have we seen from the Times? How many stories have we seen from the Sun? We've seen from Ben Jacobs, Matt Lawton, Jamie Jackson. None of them have caused the stock market to go, hold on a second, we need to read this story first before we allow trading to resume. It's
because they're not financial experts, they're sports freaking journalists, report on football.
He's the most reliable person that has spoken on this situation. Now, you can take, he hasn't said that they're in exclusivity. What he says is their deal is preferable. The Glazers are going to go with him, but Sir Jim, as what happens in this process, has a chance to up his bid. I don't think he needs to up his bid. I think he needs to completely restructure his bid. What the Glazers are most likely saying is, you need to buy all 69% off us now. Not 3 years, 6 years down the line. You need to buy it now. We have a deal that's close to yours, but they're giving us the money now. That could be what they're trying to say to him, because then that creates a bit of a bidding war as well. But anyway, so the facts are, you have a very, very reliable business journalist coming out saying that they believe Qatar's in the lead. You have Rio Ferdinand putting his name out there, his face out there, the first proper person. And doesn't need clout, but the first person ever. And then currently at close of market, we are sitting at $24.57 share with 12.1 million shares sold. This is not ordinary people buying these shares. These are brokerages buying these shares. Then you get Matt Lawton, the Times, saying, oh, it's Sir Jim. There's no exclusive bidder. I'm sorry, but you go to anybody in the 9-2 Foundation, you go to anybody in Ineos, they're going to feed you the same line. We are in the process. We believe we're going to be successful, and we haven't been told anything. This is a PLC. They can't say otherwise. What has happened with the other reporter, Abraham, is he's been approached by somebody most likely that is either in the Rain Group, knows about the process, has told him the information, and asked to stay anonymous. This usually happens in these kind of deals very closely before the deal's closed.
Okay.
The stock markets react to that. Right. They've now retweeted. I've looked at it and I had a quick look before we came on. They have tweeted about their article, and they've tweeted about their podcast that they've done 11 times today.
Reuters,
and every time Reuters do it, it's usually after Jamie Jackson says something, the Times have said something. Anytime somebody tries to debunk their story,
bloody hell, it's like a boxing fight. That's the thing. Is like, they're like children. They're trying. The true race here is who is the race of journalism publication to break this story first.
They're saying we are the dogs at this house. You're not involved. Stick to transfers. Business is our realm. When we say it is, it is. We don't care what you say. And
who are you?
I just can't get it. I can't get it around my head why people are going.
And people are saying they're out there like, come on, people, don't be sheep. Like, oh, it's not a done deal until Fabrizio Romano says it's a done deal. Like, oh, come on, man. Really? Are you going to believe in Fabrizio Romano or Lawton's, any other than a credible financial institution, journalists like Reuters, Bloomberg, and all them jazz, right? Do you seriously believe that
somebody else is pointing out something else? What? Sorry? Somebody else has pointed out something else. In the new articles that they're retweeting, there is now no mention of SGR in it. It's only about Qatar. They haven't mentioned anything about them being able to up their bid. So yet again, they've obviously done a bit more research and realized, he's out of here. He's done.
He's gone. He's gone. He tried to steal that Ferrari and drive away, but there was a roadblock. He didn't even go 1 meter, to be honest. But the thing is, what I want to continue to rant, mate, and sorry to say, because I'm pissed off, right? I didn't have to do this today, but we are doing this for the fan community because I'm sick and tired of these journalists spinning us dizzy. And the thing is, here's a fact, right? Once you go with a narrative, you're not really telling this truth, because your chief editorial say, keep going with this narrative, keep going. It's selling clicks magazine. Keep going as long as you can, right? But there's one thing that you keep forgetting. How big is Manchester United fan base, right? There is a continuous of doing credibility and business after this. So basically what you're going to do now is basically you're shooting yourself in the kneecap, in the foot, everywhere. because now you have PTSD. Like, I understand some fan channels been doing like PTSD stuff because it's too good to be true. Like, pinch me, 18 years, I have to dissect. Nah, this is fake news, because we automatically programmed by Glazenomics to say this is fake news. But the stock market don't lie, the financial figures don't lie, Reuters don't lie, Rio Ferdinand
The fact that
don't
they
lie.
registered the company doesn't lie
They
either. I forgot to
They
mention
even
that
tried
part.
to downplay. They even tried to downplay the registration today. Oh my
It
God!
was done months ago.
What?
What?
What kind of pipe dream? What are you smoking? Pass it on to the fan base, please, because I certainly want to be on that cloud that you are smoking at the moment. Sorry, YouTube algorithm, guys. I don't know. I want to pass it over to Jarvis first, because I have certain news that I've been speaking for the past 2 hours with some credible sources just to confirm, and the truth will come out. It's interesting what you have to say, Paul, because you go on your side, I go on my side. But I want to hear what is your take on the whole situation, Jarvis, and then we go to the VER room.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say big up to all the people in the chat. I see that we are 253 people watching at the moment. So everybody just remember to hit that like and share and subscribe. My thought, when Rio Ferdinand announced this morning his view and said it was done, I just thought, yeah, sure, we knew this. We have been. It's logical. And then the stock market reacted. Wall Street, it went straight up to 26 point something. It went a little bit down, so it ended about 24.9 at the end of the day, if I remember correctly. But there's a lot of things indicating that there's something going on. There's something happening, and for me, yeah, I'm super excited. I think a lot of it's kind of funny watching United Stand and all the other channels and see the experts backtracking all the way, and it's extremely funny reading the comments at the same time, because
people slaughtering
everybody is
them.
just like, "Ooh, we knew."
I invited some of these journalists. I send messages on LinkedIn to come and have a say. Nobody responded, right? I'm not going to pay you money to come and speak on my channel. You know what I mean? If that comes to it, some people charge 250 euros, 500 euros to just come on and speak, right? I'm not going to mention any names, but at the end of the day, you can write theoretical essays, but if you don't have any business acumen in what really going on, that's fine. I'm not going to mention any names, because at the end of the day, the truth will come out there. We have a very sad situation today as well, mentioned by Alien Tenno, one of our regulars, that again donates with a super chat. Thank you, Alien Tenno. You're a trooper. But seriously, rest in peace, Gordon McQueen. United legend, happens today, and I feel sorry for Gordon McQueen, because at least it could hold on for a few more weeks, few more days to actually see a shift, right? That's what I'm thinking. So big up to all of you, and all condolences go out to Gordon McQueen and his family, first and foremost. And a lot of people say, like, Ben Jacobs pissed me off today on the United Stand. I swore at him in the comments, and I'm a lover and not a fighter. And I'm the same, I don't lose my shit, like, but I had enough. This is enough. Like, we're living in a society nowadays that modern journalist doesn't exist. We stick to one story and that's it, and just take it and shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? It is what it is. If you challenge my opinion, I block you, like a certain, who. Are we allowed to mention names?
Yeah, we can. His name is Brett.
You can mention his name. Nobody cares anyway about him.
No. Yeah, I'm talking about, I'm sick of this agenda driven, like, the fact is that, can you play the xenophobic card? No, you can't. And then the last week, what you see in these journalists coming on fan cams, and I'm talking even today in United View, I mean, God, at the end of the day, they're all saying, like, we don't need some ITKs to tell us what it is and blah, blah, blah. They're trying to save their own reputation. The fact is, they don't have a Scooby-Doo, right? It's been quiet for at least a month from Qatar side, because they played that game. They played the silent game. And I'm just going to give you my fact and the reason why I am pissed off. So, Jarvis, if you can look after the chat. So,
Sure.
because I had enough, right? Because for months, like, for guys to been following this podcast and recently discovered is that we always try to focus on the truth in certain ways. And how we do that is to utilize our network with people that's close to the 92 Foundation, Ineos Group, in the spaces, the 1958 United against the Glazers. So I think that we are far more powerful than a journalist, that's kind of providing the narrative. For me, it's always been about creating those headlines, but there's not really substance in the story. So for months, it's been just spinning, recycling, just changing headlines. But here's what I've been confirmed today in the last hours from credible sources, including a gentleman that's been very, very vocal, that called out that, in the very first beginning in November, that watch out for Qatar as well. Paul, you probably know who I'm talking about. But then, if you look at Keegan and Jacobs, big up, because at the end of the day, it's been 18 years of Glazer ownership. And yeah, it is surreal. And I think that most of our fan base are finding it hard to believe, including myself. So we still are programming that negative PTSD. Now it's too good to be true. This cannot be happening. But, as what Paul said, like when a credible source from what did you say? Reuters, yeah. Has been given exclusivity. And your question, why have Reuters been given the exclusivity, not the British press? Because they're trusted source, right? They're working close with with Bloomberg, etc., with 92 Foundation in Qatar. If you look at the FIFA World Cup and stuff, that was, Bloomberg and Reuters that broke the stories as well, right? So, and also that was came out to backed up by Rio Ferdinand. That is, according to my opinion, the person that's been vocal. Rio don't need cloud. Rio is, of course, connected with the club, as what Paul was saying. He's working with the Qatar, tourism, visit Qatar. He's an ambassador for Manchester United. He's a pundit. And of course, he's got information, right? He doesn't need cloud. He's also caring about the fans. He's also running his own podcast, like Vibe for Fiber. Has you seen it? So what I've been told today is what's really going on is that journalists has been briefed by different sources, right? And that's kind of creating the contradicted reports. Yet, as I said, they're protecting the editorial narratives that they started with. So once you start with this editorial narrative, you seldom back down. You keep going and going and going until you hit the brick wall, right? So I'm dreading for them, and I can understand. I can see them sweating. I can see them suffering for anxiety when the actual truth is hitting out there. How are they going to find the way out? We yet to see, right? And it's correct by the fan base to actually start questioning, right? Because I think that they have been part of this fire as well, what be the Great Divide for the past at least 10 years, because they've been profiting on a negative United that's not performing. But all of a sudden, positivity don't sell anymore, and even rivalry clubs are fearing that United is currently in top 4 with the right structure, with the right fundings, with the right vision and plan, is going to be a giant again, a sleeping lion waking up to actually go challenge for a treble, for everything that we are used to, right? So they've been laughing at us for the past at least 10 years. We haven't been winning anything, and they've been profiting out of this. So therefore, it's been a lot of conflicting information and confusion, making it hard for people to judge what is real, what is correct. And the narrative is hard to avoid, in terms of, if you look at what we do, we look at the financial market, how it's reacting. We're following the money, and that never lies, Those financial curves don't lie. It's what you said, Paul, as well. Somebody's been trading lots of volumes today, and that is an indication that backs up the story that came out on Monday, that it is true, right? Now, I myself been suffering from PTSD, and I'm finding myself in a situation that it is a sort of is it a dream? Pinch myself, because hey, I want this as a fan. I want this to happen as much as you, right? And it's true, the fact that I found out as well, that Ineos was very close. It was very close. But the bid that Ineos had proposed was and constructed was held by many confusion, moving parts and components. But the evaluation never changed. The price never changed. It was just confusing the Glazers in terms of the structure, in terms of the credit, how it's going to be paid out. And one thing it was very clear in this conversation that I had just now is that, Sheikh Jassim was always the preferred choice. And it was one transaction cleared, like 100% takeover. And while you're looking at Sir Jim Ratcliffe was multi-layer legislative details and options that was really hard to digest. And therefore, the lawyers of Ineos were very confident because they kept constantly dialogue, because there was confusing questions like, we don't really understand what is this. As what Paul said in another podcast, they gave the Glazers the choice to choose. But at the same time, it's always been, since they came out with this Thanksgiving speech to say we are looking for strategic investments, it's basically for them to say, you know what, if the right bid comes, premium price we'll be willing to sell. So the truth is, of course, that both Joel and Avram, including the remaining 4 siblings, was looking to sell for the right bid. And that is kind of why it's been taking time in a certain way. It's been a long time because it's been like a fishing expedition where the whole process of shadow baiting has been designed to, get the biggest shark on the hook, on the bait, utilizing the Rain Group. But it's been such a long process where Rain Group has been acting as intermediate, not really telling, being honest. It's covered by NDAs, and you don't really know how much the price is. So that's where the communication broke down. And it's true that last week was a game changer where 92 Foundation, including Shabazz, went straight down to the horse's mouth and say, look, we're tired of this. We want to know how much, what is the premium. I believe it was something about $35 to $38 per share, according to Glazers. I cannot really 100% confirm that. That will come out at the end, Paul, as well. But that is kind of what we call a premium. So in a sense, the Qataris came out on Monday or over the weekend, starting to make noise, including some publications, because they successfully came to an agreement to buy the 69% of the Class B, right? So what's been going on over this week, as per my understanding of this conversation as well, is that some, how do I phrase this? Paul, you know better than me as well, that, they've been negotiating with the Class A majority stakeholders in Lindsay Train, Boeing Group, and Arias. I think they hold about 21% of the overall Class A shares. So they've been negotiating a premium buyout for them as well. I don't know if it's $30 per share or it might be somewhere in that range. So what's really going on?
It would be based. It would be based on how much they're offering the Glazers. They'll offer them a fair price, and the second they negotiate a fair price with them, they can multiply that price across the rest of the A shareholders. Because unless you have a minority stake in the actual company, there's no way you can take them to court. The rest of the brokerages will take whatever the industrial investors basically sell their shares for.
But that's very interesting what you keep saying, that the fair price is by regulations and law of Cayman Islands. I think it's Article 3 something 286 or something like that, that states that
on the article numbers.
Yeah, but it states something that even if it's a merger acquisition, that by law of Cayman Islands, they have to offer a fair price for the remaining of buyouts in the retail shares. And since they are taking it off from the New York Stock Exchange, it has to be bought out. And this is what Bank of America will facilitate, to pay out. So that's probably the reason why people are now going massively in trading volumes and volumes. Imagine, Paul, if you bought this a couple of years ago when the share price was down at 12.15, right? What kind of profit are you making right now? Massively. So that might end up in, a cap on 27, 28. I don't know. Do you have a fair estimation what that might be end up for the remaining Joe Blows like you and me if I hold shares?
You just get whatever you bought it at, really. It depends when your brokerage went in for it. They're going to auto sell, but you have 100 shares in United and you bought them shares, say, last year before even the takeover is done at $13-14 a share. You're getting like 2,000.
Yeah.
Sorry. You're basically quadrupling your money is the simplest way to put it, almost.
Yeah.
The amount of profit that's going to be made, and it's the main reason why it is also tricky to do the Sir Jim deal. And they were talking about it. Reuters were talking about it in their podcast as well. They said that the institutional industrial, I can't remember the exact acronym. Their investors, the minority investors,
minority investors, in
will be
Manchester
like,
United.
you've cut us out of this deal where we
Yeah,
can make triple the money we
yeah,
invested originally into this. We are not happy.
we're
You
not
know,
happy.
I can't tell you how that court case would go, but I just know fine rightly that court case would not be with Sir Jim, it would be with the Glazers, and the deal will still go
Mhm.
through, but the Glazers will have to deal with that legal ramification. And you know,
Yeah,
if a judge or jury agrees that the Glazers unsanctimoniously
which
cut them out of a deal, you know, they could sue them for the money they're missing out on. So all
which
that money they
which
got off the Sir Jim deal would disappear.
yeah, I mean that's not. I mean, if we talk about what is the cleanest transaction, right? And that leads me to from two conversations that I have for the past 2 hours is why the media is playing it down. And I'm trusting these people, but not going to mention names to in certain ways. Yeah, you can call me ITK, you can call me whatever you want, but at the end of the day, if you obtain certain information from people, you know, we're here to share it as a fan base, aren't we? Like, you know, so does it matter, right? What I really want is what's best for the club and to move forward like everyone else. So, you know, I'm not an ITK. I'm just happen to sit on a bunch of context as well. So you cannot help that. But what I've been told as well, just about 2 hours ago, why the media is playing it down is because the club and the Rain Group was not happy that this was leaked out by certain informations, including Reuters, including what even like, you know, Rio Ferdinand came out today, you know, because that's what they kind of briefed it out to tone it down a bit, because it's not pretty much 100% confirmed transaction. Since, you know, Qatar is going for 100%, they don't want this to be played out as of yet from a PR perspective. As we know that Manchester United PR, like Neil Ashton, likes to keep a PR spin game. Like, you know, as long as this stays, the more engagement it keeps in, you know, in terms of revenue and clicks. And that was fairly from a very high up source that I really trust with my life, to be honest. And you know, I think I even you know probably who I'm talking about, Jarvis, as well, because we speak, and
Yeah,
you as well. So Jeff Steele from Australia, angry Aussie, announced to sell United, please. Yeah, big up
thank you for the
Australia.
super chat.
So the truth will never come out, because for some weird bizarre fetish way, the editorials, like, you know, will just run with their story. Like, you know, they will never run you with the correct story, with the truth. And unfortunately, we live in this modern society nowadays that, you know, you have cancellation, you have people so desperate to be proven that they are right. You know, they want to be the first to break it. But I'm looking at protective the United fan base to say, because mental health, including my own mental sanity, is being played at, right? And it's just had to stop, right? You know, for far too long, you know, these people have been spinning plates, making profits by clicks. But all what matters is that Manchester United is getting sold. Glazers are going out the club. Why is nobody writing about that? Why is nobody writing about that 115 allegations of sports washing by City? No, they have to attach itself to Manchester United because it's the biggest sale of century. It's the biggest clicks in the world. Money's been flowing in. Everyone profits. But at the end of the day, we as a fan base community suffer.
Hmm.
We suffer. And we just want to turn the page, get this over the line. We got third. We got the great manager in. We're dying to back this manager to go into transfer markets so we can actually become that force that we want to be again, with a new ownership, with new structure, with new money and everything. So what's holding this up? What is holding this up? Paul, is it going to take time from now on, in terms of, if the stories is correct, that they managed to secure the 69% from the Glazers? They are working on a deal with the minority industrial investment on a buyout. What's next in this process? Is there SSC lodgement? Is that the director's fitness test? How do you see it? Or is that already been,
Um,
can it be?
hard to tell. It's hard to tell with the director's test because nobody actually knows if the only thing that the Premier League rules say on the director's test is you must put in your application a minimum of 10 days before a purchase can take place. So you don't know if Rain Group can go to the Premier League and go, these are the two buyers. we believe we'll have a we'll know who's going to be one of these two buyers in the next 2 weeks. So you look at both of them and come back to us if any of them can't make it. Maybe they can do that. I'm not 100% sure on what the rules are for that, or if they can do soft checks. I don't know what way he approaches it. He could just buy the 69% plus buy the percentage of the minority investors in Manchester United. So he gobbles all that up. So that would take him maybe close to about 80% of the whole total shares. Take control of United, get the summer out of the way, then put a tender offer into the stock exchange for the rest of the percentage that are left. Or he could just do it all in one thing. He doesn't have to take, even if he buys 100%, technically he's still not delisting the company. It's still a PLC until he completely delists it and privatizes it. So he can still own 100% of the company and still be a PLC at the same time. Just because you own all the shares doesn't mean
no, I mean, it's as long as you secure the merger or the acquisition, and then you can decide slowly to degrade it and delist it. It's not going to happen over the night. Of course not.
I don't see him. I don't see him completely doing a delisting of shares and as soon as he buys it. I can see him maybe saying, I have now bought out all minority investors in United and the majority investors, because technically, actually, funny enough, the Glazers are technically minority investors. There is no majority owner of Manchester United. It's 6 siblings that all own minority shares. As I say, some of these institutional organizations own almost more percentage than some of the Glazers do.
But it does not make sense. You know what? Because the siblings inherited this money, or the wealth of Malcolm Glazer when he died. So basically, they didn't invest anything. Don't get fooled by the press and media. If somebody slaps you 6 billion on the table and you didn't invest one single penny, money, everything has a price, right? We know that Darcy Glazer wants to move on. She's not involved. We have Brian Glazer. We have the only one that they were trying to play on emotions in terms of Ineos. They thought that, maybe if we construct a deal to keep both Abram and Joel in there, who has, by the way, if you have Class B shares, that's 10 times stronger voting power in the board. So even if you're sitting there on 20%, you still have that almost 50-50, right? Even if Ineos has 51%, right? They appoint 4 board directors, and Glazers can appoint 0.3 board directors. There will still be like a parliament vote, right? So it's just been one shit show after another. And then we saw the latest report that he's trying to scrape the money from Nice, and Nice is not happy about that. He's basically looking to liquidity, to match that bid. But if that then comes the question again, the critical question is, if you cannot afford to buy Manchester United, how are you then going to afford the rest? How are you going to continue to drive it? And if it's not debts and bonds, what people are saying and reports are saying, that is pretty much changing like, candy for ice cream, the same calories, right? It's never been sort of clear from Ineos' side is what is the manifesto means, right? While on the other hand, Sheikh Jassim has always been transparent. Here's 100% what we're going to do. We're going to buy you out totally, one transaction, clean. Everyone walks away, profits, hunky-dory, one transaction, one bam, boom, boom. Of course, they've been quiet. They have been confident. They have not sort of imposed those variables of moving points that's been confusing. And according to my opinion, what I understood, that has been taking time. It's dilly-dallying, right? Dithering back and forward. So at the end of the day, we're coming close to the transfer window. They are 100%. If you were an owner, you'll be like, hang on, I need this as soon as possible, because otherwise it's going to damage my manager season, my team season, right? So, but there's a fallacy as well with the FFP. But what you have to do with FFP is just lower down the wage bill, offload players, and off you go. Because last season the media was saying, oh, we only have 100 million in spendings. Guess how much we ended up spending? Close to 250. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Don't believe what the media is saying. It's just don't have a Scooby-Doo. It's just guesswork, according to my opinion. I'm just tired. I don't know. Raise your hand if you're like me. But
the whole takeover is guesswork, because you're dealing with, this is not a normal takeover situation.
It's
I've
not.
had certain journalists say there've been over so many takeovers in the past, but you haven't been through one like this. This is a very complicated takeover. One, you're dealing with a football club that's on a PLC, and two, you're dealing with 6 owners, not one. There's never been a takeover situation like this where you're having to deal with 6 family members, especially when it comes into the realm of football. As I said, people are saying they're hearing this from this camp and they're hearing this from this camp. The only thing you're
Hmm.
going to hear from both camps is we are confident with the bid. We haven't been told if we're exclusive bidders or not, or if we're preferred bidders, or if the other party are preferred bidders, because that's all they can say. They cannot turn around when you're dealing with a PLC and come out and say, yeah, we're an exclusive bidder.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
I
is just
understand.
causing
That's
trouble, you know. So as I said, obviously, certain journalist that has written his article today has had somebody approach him. Or the more plausible thing is Ferdinand has came out with what he said. This big reporter and big editor for acquisition and mergers has gone, okay, he's coming out with this. Technically now the cat is out of the bag. I can go to one of my sources and print the information. Because
I'm gonna
real
go with
Ferdinand has opened that, but he has opened that cat. He
yeah.
has opened that bag, and as long as he's then been able to go and get his information off his sources and gone, this is what I believe. And if anything gets any knockback and any legal ramifications, all he has to do is go, I asked the source, was real Ferdinand right? The
Hmm.
source told me yes. No information has been treated because he's just confirmed what Ferdinand has said.
Mr. White, Mr. White, you hold that thought because I want to go to the community. George Best here is saying a great philosopher once said, beware of the dog that doesn't bark. And that is Qatar stance here. 100%. That's what we're saying as well. Like, we have a saying that I grew up as well. That's similar to say, the one that doesn't yap, this is the one that's confident. The one that yaps a lot is the one that has low self-esteem, the bully in a way. But you know what? Calm and composed we need to be. That's one thing. But to be lied to, I don't understand why. And if Rio Ferdinand comes out, he ain't gonna say, yeah, I'm 100% sure, right? You leave yourself with some wiggling room, otherwise you're gonna get slaughtered, right? Because we're living in such an information Twitter toxic environment. So everyone wants to give it to me now, exclusive. I want now. Tell me. You're not gonna go to say I am 100%. So the way he structured was pretty smart as well. And the way the Reuters article was also structured very, very smart. Now, I was watching then our friends of the paddock went absolutely frenzied trying to debunk it. And I was like, guys, calm down, right? I sent them a super chat to calm down anyway, because I understand it's that PTSD. Pinch me, it's not true. Like, it has to be, it cannot be true. This is Glazers we're talking about. They're not going to leave. This is automatically programmed in our minds. But you cannot ignore that the financial market is moving towards the right direction. The volumes being traded. We talked about dumb money and smart money. And the ones that are smart, they say that inside information doesn't exist. Well, yeah, it does exist. Certain people get information and start moving blocks fast. So today I just felt like, hang on a second. I said to Jarvis, so yesterday we did a 2 hours podcast stream all about United, just chill vibes, talking about everything that the fan base want to talk about. And I said, no, I don't want to do anything today. I'm just going to relax because everything is pointed towards that right direction. Boom. Media comes out and says, you spin me like a record, round like a record, baby, round, 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 round. And it's all about a media war. That's what it is. At the end of the day.
Hold on a second.
Oh, yeah.
The Spectator Index has just tweeted Manchester United sales now being negotiated exclusively with the Qatari consortium. The Spectator Index is a news and media data from around the globe with 2.3 million followers on Twitter. And they're reporting that Manchester sale is now being negotiated exclusively with Qatari.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this deserves one of these. Hang on. Breaking news. Paul White just read a tweet. What was it, Paul?
I'm just saying the spectator index is now saying Manchester United sales now being negotiated exclusively with Qatari consortium. They haven't put any
Hmm.
sources up on it. They've just tweeted that out. So I can't tell you what's what their reliability is on it. But
But let's
yeah,
Paul, you and me we've had numerous of podcasts, and big up for the spaces as well that's currently running as well. You know who you are, guys. Much love to you. I'm looking in the camera. You know who you are, right? I mentioned your names before, but we will give a shout out to the Spaces guy, Mike, Rizzo, Banks, all of them. They've been keeping this alive. They've been getting a lot of stick as well because people don't want to believe. That's the thing. But people are now realizing what we've been towing and saying all along is that this is happening, right? At the end of the day, you don't need a sort of a journalist that is a sports writer to tell you what's true or not, right? So wake up when the transfer market, let this be a lesson learned, right? But we're not going to jump the gun until everything is signed, sealed, and delivered. But when it is, my God, what a party it will be! What a party it will be, people. You know, am I getting giddy? Yes, I am. Are you getting giddy, Jarvis?
I
A
said
little
it
bit.
before. It's like waiting for VAR when you celebrate a goal. I'm
Yeah.
excited, but I'm not really. I, I won't take fully off.
No, I always like to keep my powder dry, but my powder is getting wet, to be honest. What is the VR room saying at the moment? Forget it. Forget us. Uh, forget the. Oh yeah, we have a call in. So Sanjeev, you want to come in as well? Yeah, yeah, of course. It is all for you. Whoever wants to come in, have a say. It is therapy session today, so I will post this link into the chat and do if Mr. Verma wants to come in, let's come in. It's going to come into the chat room now. Bam. So please come in and have a say. We are open mic policy today because this is all about you, your mental health, and what you think and feel. Um, I think we had our say today, basically looking at it from our perspectives. Paul looked from his financial perspective from the stock market. Jarvis from his what do you call it? More reserve calmness. And
Yeah.
knock knock into the studio. I think we have Sajiv coming in all the way from Australia. How you doing, mate?
Uh, Hi guys. It's been few weeks, and
Has been. How you doing?
yeah. Outside of football, I'm good, but like inside of football and transfers, that's not good, man.
What's
It's,
your? I mean, I asked you the question. We had our say.
yeah.
What's your take on everything that you've seen today in general? Like, what's your thoughts and feelings from a logic and reasoning perspective, Sajiv?
For me, it's like a. For me, it's like a. For me, it's like a Frankie De Jong saga thing from like last summer transfer window. It's the same thing, and I mean, for me personally, I'm like I'm just what like I'm only gonna I'm only looking forward for the like a next season, which is like against Wolves. Other than that, I'm not sure what like this takeover saga is getting so boring. It's so
Yeah.
boring. The same thing. First of all, these journalists were saying, "Oh, Sir Jim is a like a preferred bidder." Like we all know, he's not like okay. He may be like a powerful like a businessman, but like but I've seen I've seen his recent history, his recent ownership history with Nice. It's horrible. It's absolutely shambles. He like Nice were at one point, and they were competing with the
Mm.
likes of like PSGs, and then when Sir Jim Ratcliffe just came in, the club went into mid-table, and like I don't understand why some Manu fans were like saying Sir Jim can like literally fix all these. No way. Like when I saw all those objectives of what
Mm.
of what like Sheikh will do. Like
In
Sheikh
terms of the
Jassim
manifesto,
has
you mean? Yeah, yeah.
like Sheikh Jassim has like a clear, like he has a clear objectives of what he needs to do. With Sir Jim Ratcliffe, it's like for me personally, it's like you're paying like a house rent for like flipping installments.
Mm.
Like it's like us, right? It's like we are like waiting for like 4 or 5 years of us wanting us to be back to the top
Yeah.
top of the Premier League. Or it's with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, it's going to take a long time. I'm
Yeah, but
sorry.
that's yeah, no, they absolutely you have a valid point, and I think that Paul concurs that as well. If they will continue dithering with this deal, this will take ages in terms of the structure
It's
that he
going to
put
take
forward.
ages, man.
Yeah.
It's not. It's and you
And
know, like,
by the time you have to sort of, because Ineos itself or Sir Jim is not cash rich, he's more asset rich, correct, Paul?
exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're
I'm
sleeping.
literally getting bombarded. I
In
know I'm getting
terms of
bombarded.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I don't mind Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but he's not very cash rich. He's more asset rich in certain ways. So buying time, he did quite this astute move to say within 3 years, it gives me time to collect those, sell off the assets and collecting cash, so I can pay
It's
off
it's
eventually.
more
Or
it's more the problem of the American um borrowing market is a nightmare to get
yeah,
around at the moment.
it
People,
is credit crisis.
Sir Jim is not getting £5 billion, or not 5 billion. Sorry, that's his valuation. He's not getting
Funding.
$3.8 billion from one bank. He's going to have to use 2 or 3 different banks,
Yeah,
and
JP
it's a
Morgan's.
mess. Yeah,
It's a
it's a
mess.
mess at the moment. It's a mess at
And
the moment.
plus the current financial market, we're experiencing the biggest credit financial markets where banks are collapsing. Even if it's a JP Morgan or Bank of America that's kind of listed as banks that could never fall, it is a risk to loan out such big money, because nobody's going to know. Nobody knows what the future might hold with the de-dollarization, what's going on. If we're allowed to speak about that, the world is changing, my friends. It is changing, hopefully for the good. But all in all, we're here for the footballing matters, and we get sucked in, Sajiv, to this, financial. And one thing that's been amazing, Paul, as well, is now everyone is a financial expert within the fan base. Everyone
Yeah.
understands what the trading is, so maybe everyone can have a career in being financial traders in stock market, right? Class A, Class Bs, and right, Paul. You can be the tutor.
I'm sorry. I'm literally getting a lot of information chucked at me right now.
Yeah, he's reading breaking news. Yeah.
If I get anything of important, I'll come in on it. I swear.
Yeah.
I do
So-
apologize, people, but it's literally there's people that are updating articles at the moment. There's extra journalists backing up the main guys at the moment.
Yeah.
Like
I'm just going to go to the VR room. I have we have so many in the, we have a new face that I haven't seen. Reber Bakir. Salam alaikum, Habibi. Hi all. How are you doing? Welcome to MUFC Real TV. Red or Dead is saying, Ratcliffe, do us a favor and pull out. Yeah, but I'm going to be a little bit shrewd here. It's like Ratcliffe is believed to taking some Viagra, and when you're on a party drug, you don't want to pull out. Sorry, jokes aside, this is therapy session. Oh, sorry, what happened? Jarvis, you clicked on
Sorry,
something.
we have a super chat.
Yeah, okay. Alien Tenno, mate, I'm so grateful for your donations. Big up to you, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. 1-0 Qatar United have reached the promised land. Yeah, we are getting there, to the promised land.
Hope it's true, man. Like literally.
Well, just be cool, composed, and just
Yeah.
don't let this spin bite you. That's all we can say. We've been there. Last season was horrible for us United fans as well. It's been that great divide, where we were divided in 2 different camps, and I saw a tweet today by a Muppet today, totally tool, doing that E-Reds card and stuff like that fans the supports Qatar are E-Red fans, and people that are match going fans are more Ratcliffe fans, and he favors more. And I was like, God damn it, please. Are we going to play that card again? The train of change have moved from Manchester United train station, like, last season when Eric Ten Hag came on board.
Yeah.
If you're still standing on that, train station, you didn't catch the train,
Exactly.
God, because one thing what has led this takeover on positive side is that it has unified the fan base that we've been crying out for as well. Everyone is coming together. There's a positive feeling with the positive football, with the right manager. He's just started. Okay, there's some people that are blaming him for some draws or some losses, but overall in general, what did you expect, right? Just put yourself where you are last season when people were down tooling, right, packing up the bags already in April. I was feeling shit. I was feeling, I don't know, I was numb. I didn't have any feelings, even if we lost or drew, like, whatever, pack up and go, right, close the shop, go home. But today, with these changes, and this wind of changes is positive, the way it's blowing in all directions all over the world, right? And it is such a great feeling, like, that people are coming together. There's no beef anymore on Twitter between certain people, and that's clear and obvious because now we are being united as a Manchester United name is, right? Anyone wants to come and have a say? Sanjeev, welcome to the best MUSC family channel, and thank you for the most excellent news. You're welcome,
you.
Angie, are you the moderator today? Who is the moderator? Angie's one of our trusted members as well. So we just we have a membership program, of course, if you want to support this channel, either through super chatting or become a member. It doesn't cost much. It doesn't cost a dividend. It's like less than €1, I think, for 1 month to be supporting of this channel. Please welcome. We are launching some membership content, and we are doing this content for you as a global fan base. And plus, this is my therapy as well, and Jarvis's therapy, and this is an opportunity to speak to the global fan base. Yeah. From Senegal, Andresa, please, guys, do me a favor, right? Everyone in the VR room, tell me where you are from. That is the most important thing. I want to know where this global fan base are calling in from. If you want to have a say, let us know. We will share the link as well. From Senegal, Africa. Ooh, it's time for Africa. Good stuff. Jarvis is in the VR room control. He's the admin moderator. Hope you're feeling good today, guys. Big up Sanjeev. Big up Simon Heron is saying. Big up Sanjeev. You're in Sydney, Australia, right?
Yeah, I'm from Sydney.
Scott.
So.
We have Scott down in the house. Who else do we have in the house? Manchester, UK. Andy Young.
Oh,
big up. Peak. I saw also Paul in the house as well.
Bro, that Man City's treble celebration as well, man. That
we have Manchester United against the Glazers in the house in the chat as well. People from 1958 as well. Lisa Jensen Olsen. I'm from Aarhus, Denmark. Lisa Jensen Olsen from Denmark. Aarhus.
Denmark.
Du er dansk. Du snakker dansk.
Snakker dansk.
Rød glød med flø. Yeah, I know. Big up, Lisa. I've been to Aarhus. It's beautiful there. Like, guys, Canada. Oh, Canada. Great hockey team as well. I love hockey. Yeah. Big up to you. Luan, France. Warrington, UK, Philip. Big up, Philip. Jesus, I love your picture. Is that your daughter? UK, Staffordshire. Jonathan Ball, one of our members in the what do we have? We just launched that Telegram. It's amazing. I never used Telegram before. It's so smooth, guys. If you want to join our private group actually it's a members group. Anyone can join. Group. Yeah, it's a continuous chat. Like it's just for an open forum. The link is on the banner in the YouTube page. You can see you have Twitter, you have Telegram. If you click on that, you come straight to sign up to join.
Yeah, and it's great. Membership. You can share pictures, you can share links, you can talk to each other, you can text, everything. So it's great to get to know each other.
Staffordshire, Jonathan Ball is one of the first 11 that joined today, actually. So yeah, it's been crazy chat with you guys today. Amazing. Mohamza from Doha, Qatar. I know you're from Doha, Qatar. I seen you before, my friend. I worked in Qatar, I worked in Dubai, and I recognize your face for some reason, but I cannot picture where I have met you, sir. I'm very interested to have a chat with you. Adelaide, Australia.
Oi,
Jeff Steele. Oi.
Oi,
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 oi.
oi. Good AFL team. You have the power, and what else do you have?
I'm being honest with you. I'm being honest with you. I don't really watch AFL much.
Oh, I love
But
AFL.
oh, really?
I'm West Coast Eagles all the way. Perth, West
Fair
Australia.
enough.
What's AFL?
Not Fremantle. Oh, that's the best football. Forget about rugby. Forget about American rules. Aussie rules. Football. That is people without shin pads. People with they're doing crazy shit. You know what I mean? It's action packed.
Yeah, I know.
Jeff Cornwall, UK. Yes, big up. A little bit posh. Karen Reed, Chelmsford, City, Essex.
I've never
Big up.
heard this before.
Chelmsford. Yeah, Essex. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been trying to find
USA.
the spectators in index to find how reliable it is. Apparently, it's not a magazine; it's just a Twitter that posts a bit of news. But a very, very important guy from Qatar follows him, Mick. The guy that the reporter the week
Oh.
who follows and pays attention to this guy. Do you know who it is?
Yeah.
Khalifi.
Khalifi. Majid Al Khalifi.
Follows him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he follows him, so he must be talking. As I say, I can't find.
Listen,
much.
if Majid El Khalifi says, who is, by the way, attached to the royal family, right? He's got exclusivity. When Majid El Khalifi tells people, relax, then you know it's coming, right? When I've been getting, sending people in Qatar WhatsApp messages, as a PTS, is this really happening? Is this true? Congratulations. And they're replying with a smile and a heart. Thank you, Habibi. That means that's it. Qataris are very proud, even from the people in Dubai, they don't come out and say something in public unless it's true. And even I lived in Dubai, worked in Qatar, I even worked in Saudi Arabia. This is criminal offense to publish misinformation, and you can get up to imprisonments and, $100,000 in fines for publishing misleading information. So, mate, when high executives coming out and congratulating in tweets, whoa. Rino Gaeta, boys, a link. You want to come in, have a say? Yeah, boys, yeah. Okay, a link. I posted again. I guess it's Mo. I'm not sure who that is. Paste. Here you go. Link is in the chat. So we're having a final therapy session. So Trinidad and Tobago in the house. Dwight York and Brian Lara country. Oh, yeah. I've been to Trinidad and Tobago. Where's it? Georgetown, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think, George Best, you said you're from USA, but I'm keen to understand which county, which city. But Trinidad and Tobago, I love that place. Seriously, the people so chilled and relaxed. Everything is mañana. Tomorrow, man. No worries, man. Seriously, guys, the Telegram group is brilliant. Simon Heron says, I can set it up. Anyone can get it on it. Big up. It is easy to set up. You just download, follow that the link, and you're in. I'm a WhatsApp user, guys. So WhatsApp for me is very clumsy, and this one is so smooth. Love you guys from around the world. I'm a citizen of the world as well, ML. Big up to you. I send you guys the calling link in the chat. Simple reason. And Juddy Sports is here in the house. I jump into your DMs, make Ruby. I have worked in Doha before. 100%. Juddy Sport is saying, MUC release Armband Sen broke the exclusive story at Roach. Yes, that's it.
Yeah, they are
Juddy
actually
Sports.
understood.
Juddy Sports, I have a lot of respect because when me and Paul had a podcast, you said something that nobody knew that we knew, which is scary. Right, Paul? He's sleeping.
Sorry,
Juddy Sports. You remember Juddy
I have my
Sports?
mic muted because
Remember in the last
background.
podcast after we finished, and you said, God, somebody said something that nobody else knew, and that was Juddy Sports. Juddy Sports is saying here, Anirban Sen, who broke the exclusive story at Reuters, is one of the most trusted financial journalists in the world, and Reuters has very high editorial standards to go to print. Juddy, I don't know who you are, but you know something that we know as well. But big up to you. Big up. This is the beauty of this community. Sharing is caring, right? And all of a sudden, Paul went to cozy mode. Anyone wants to come in? I shared the link. I think Some people still has a PTSD, like Paul. I know I've seen you in the comments, but they're not selling to Qatar. If they're going to do that, would have done it by now. They will either keep or borrow more money or sell it to this gym guy. Fact. Paul, I would like to understand, because you've been interacting before in the comments. You know why? You tell us why you're not thinking it's a fact then, otherwise than providing a voice of reasoning. Is it your PTSD that you don't believe, or is it, what is a fact according to you? Everyone has their own opinions, everyone has their own facts. At the end of the day, whatever media is presenting, they should present you two sides of the story, and it's up to you to decide what to believe. That is the old classic fashion journalism. So if you think it's that way, then we respect your opinions, sir. Milos Mitic is in the house saying Bayern ušao za pregovore Kim. He says that Bayern München has entered some form of pre-agreement for 20 minutes for Kim. Well,
Oh yeah, Kim Min-jae, yeah.
yeah, Kim and yeah. But you can still arrange a pre-agreement. You can still trigger that release clause. That's open up in 2 weeks.
That's from like the first week of his release clause will be from
Starts of
like
first.
next month. For
Yeah.
1st July.
The
Yeah.
club can still deny you talking to Kim until that release clause comes active. Once that release clause comes active, you just have to pay that money, and then you can talk to him. You can't do, unless they're doing a pre-agreement with Napoli. I don't see it. Napoli would charge them more to do a pre-agreement as well. They'd say, look,
Yeah.
if you want to do a pre-agreement, pay us another 10 million on top.
Minimum likes targets what Stephanie Griffin is saying, one of our moderators and early members saying 200 thumbs up. Yes. It's up to you guys. I mean, it's free. It doesn't cost anything. And I always make a joke that if you're on a diet, you will burn those extra calories by just going for that button. You know what I mean? It counts at the end of the day. And the only thing is that we take, of course, we take your likes, because YouTube algorithm is picking it up and promoting this content, because this is our therapy session as Global United fan base, and we are here to have a say and give back information to you day as well. So is anyone coming in? No, anyone is not coming in. $32 per share. Oh, at 100,000 share, $32 per share. When we bought it, the first went on the market at 14 a share. You have just made a double plus of your original investment. Wow. Paul, did you hear this?
Money. A lot of money.
Ese mucho dineros. Somebody's going to make lots of money. And unfortunately, karma will come for the Glazers, what Alien Tenor is saying. But, the sad story is here. The elephant in the room is that the one that will walk away and profit is the Glazers, right? But in the long-term investment, we fans will profit as well by bringing back the club back to being a club, not a business. The return on investments is bringing back the positivity to the fan base and joy of the football, which we've been deprived of under the Glazers. So that is the return on investments that I see with the new ownership as well. Simon Heron is saying best Manchester United fan channel out there. We like to call ourselves a community channel than a fan channel. I would say, why be a fan channel? You can be a community channel. Much easier when everyone is contributing. Defo. So, anything else? Milos Mitic, Jamie Wayne is in the house. All our moderators, big up for all. This be the last trade window ruined. Al Mack is in the house saying this will be the last trade window ruined by the Glazers. 100%.
Facts, man.
Hopefully.
Absolute facts.
Absolutely
We can only
facts.
hope.
Yeah. Puffin, the first time I see Puffin in the house, we need to stop buying average players. We need a keen Cantona, Stam, and Bruce for the Glazers to then can feck off back to Dixie. Listen, Puffin, what about, there's been reports coming out from Night 2 Holding Foundation. They're looking to give jobs to some of the legendary, 99, class of 99. What about bringing in a Roy Keane into the club?
I don't
Roy
mind that.
Keane.
I want
no.
my own team back.
A Roy Keane as a, Mickey Phelan leaning on that brick wall, giving people and players bollocking. Get out there. If you see him, mate, if you see everyone that's seen what's it called, the TV show, come on,
Is it like a
Roy.
a match like analysis or something? Is it like?
No, I don't know, man, but I just want to crack the what's it called, that TV show,
What's it about?
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
Oh,
they have this
oh.
assistant called Roy. I think he's playing the fictional part of Roy Keane, and we need somebody like that. You know,
I have to watch. I have to watch it. I didn't watch it.
oh, it's
It's
brilliant.
brilliant.
It's such good.
Where's the show like available on? Is it on like Apple TV or is it on like Stan Sports?
Mm.
I don't
So,
know.
Mick, I'm doing a little surprise for the people in the chat. I'm gifting 5 membership, so now people can
Yeah.
go and see the exclusive membership with you just posted today.
Oh yeah. It will be more. I actually had a interview podcast with some big shots in the industry, and it's
Apparently, guys. Havertz is being linked to Arsenal, and they just withdrew their interest for Caicedo. So now it's now between us and a Chelsea to get him. We have to
Mr.
seize this opportunity to get him. We
Yeah,
can't.
I'm just going to reply to Mr. O'Toole here. He doesn't believe. Mr. O'Toole, if you don't believe, that it's not bloody happening, it's not our fault. Like, as a global fan base, everyone's feeling positive. I can understand that you're feeling PTSD, but if you don't believe it, then wake up one morning when it's all announced and come back in this chat room. But we do appreciate everyone has an opinion. But I've seen you numerous times commenting like this on the comments. I see you, I hear you, I feel you. What can I do? What more can we do, mate? We ain't gonna stop. We're not gonna be cancelled. What's the point? To say to 1958, all the protests, you want us to stop too, right? What you're saying is basically cancel, right? We are not about that, sir. We're all about Glazers out 100% until they're gone. So why are you telling us to stop? Yeah, it is happening. There's no other way. There is no other way. They run this financial milk the club to the end. They're not staying, mate. Just get that into your head, please, and hope you have a good day, sir. To be honest, sorry, but I can understand people that are still not believing. But when you look at the finances, include what Paul White has been doing, what everyone has been doing, for all the financial experts has been saying, and you still don't believe, then it's what we're trying to do is provide a voice of reasoning to keep yourself calm and composed. And at the end of the day, whatever you believe, Mr. Tool, it's up to you. But don't come to say to stop, because we were never going to stop. We were never going to be cancelled, as we're going to continue protests. This is green and gold until we are sold, right? And even if we are getting new owners, we still need to, observe. You know what I mean? Observe, and so we're not getting misused again, right? Even if it's a Qatar, we still have to be analyzing it, so we don't doing like a PSG or a City, or what I mean, just doing like, this is my opinion though, doing like even if Newcastle was taken over by Saudi, they've been like responsible owners and not going all in terms of investments. Yes, you can join the chat without showing my face, 100% you can, but as long as you don't come naked, it's fine. United Devil in the house. Jarvis is giving up free memberships. Wow, man, he's a bigger than I thought. Fair play, big up. Yes, anyone that wants to come in and have a say, even you, Paul O'Toole, if you want to come in and explain why you think it's so, you're welcome, sir. I'm not digging at you, I'm just saying, have hope, sir, have hope. Right. Gavin Murphy, when do we think this will be announced?
It's a good question.
Paul White, when do you think? When do you think this will be happening? Tomorrow? Wishful thinking.
Tomorrow or Tuesday?
Tomorrow's Tuesday. Why? What's the reason behind
tomorrow? I think tomorrow the news is going to get too much. There's going to be too much pressure on the stock market. Something's going to have to be released. There's going to be articles of a lot of people now in the background since the article today. So you're going to have Bloomberg that are going to be looking at it. You're going to have Sportico that are going to be asking their sources. They're going to have to be a positive brief, because if they allow the speculation to continue in the stock market, it could get messy. So somebody will want to clear something up tomorrow.
Phil, you want to come in also to have a say? And I know you're a big Glazers Out fan as well. Been running a great movement provide also that Rothschilds were involved in the Glazers takeover in 2005. 100% Phil. The way they ran the Glazers, ran the club, was just a franchise to them, NFL style. All the money gone, lifestyles, mansions. True, Phil. But they also bought Buccaneers. It's the same style as what they did with the Manchester United, which pretty much was on a leverage buyout, a loan, pretty much. And I believe that Buccaneers is not in. They're also in debt at the moment. I think it was 360 million in debt as well. So, what is people saying that Rob is saying? The media is now saying 3 months takeover deadline. Help me, Paul. What the hell is this?
That's Keegan came out with a report saying it would take 8 to 12 weeks to finalise the deal once it's been agreed on. It's very hard to say where he's getting the 8 to 12 weeks from. The Premier League fit and proper test 8 to 12 weeks for it. I'm pretty sure no. They've set up a corporation called the 9-2 Foundation. They've registered 2 different companies in its name. This whole organisation is set up so it fits and meets all of the Premier League fit and proper test standards. They're going to go in there with everything opened. They're going to go, these are our books, these are our directors, these are our people. I myself am Thani. I am from Qatar, but the president of the 9-2 Foundation is he's a British-born Pakistani. The legal advisor for the foundation is, I believe he's Lebanese. My main lawyers are from London, and my financial creditors are from the Bank of America. It's I don't see it taking that long. I'm pretty sure the Premier League
We're talking about Shabazz, of course.
Yeah, Shabazz, and I can't remember his personal advisor, but he's main legal counsel.
And one is a British. Yeah, true.
It's gonna be rubber stamped at the 8 to 12 weeks to take over. Nah. As I've always said, it's always why I've been under the guys that you'd go after the 69% first, because it gets them in the door quicker.
Yeah.
Just by the 69, deal with everything else afterwards.
All right, we have another calling guest. So thank you, Mr. Verma. We are doing it a rotational. So thank you for having your say, sir. And I will bring in Unicorn as well. Thank you, buddy. And have a good sleep. In I don't know what time is it in Sydney at the moment.
It's 8:15 in the morning.
In the morning. It's time to work then.
Yeah.
Weird time difference. Thank you, Mr. Verma, and we see you soon again. Please come back.
Sure.
Anytime, my friend. Cheers,
care.
buddy.
Cheers.
We have a Unico in the house. How you doing,
How
sir?
you
Can
doing,
you hear
Mick?
us?
You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, mate. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from London, brother. I'm calling from
London.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's on your mind?
Honestly, well, I've actually been following you since last summer, since the Frankie de Jong saga. I feel like that's the most common thing that people mention a lot. And I just liked a lot of stuff you was tweeting, and you sound like a guy that knows a lot about stuff in the backgrounds and stuff. So, but aside from all of that, I just wanted to ask you basically. I don't know if you saw the Mike Keegan tweet today that came out. He said something along the lines of 8 to 12 week approval.
Yeah.
Or, I just wanted to ask you and Paul. Does that mean that we can't do signings?
No.
Or can we still do signings? Or like, what's the deal with the whole 8 to 12 weeks?
I leave this.
Keegan's trying to say that once a deal's agreed, it's going to take 8 to 12 weeks before Jassim can, or Sir Jim, I should say, or even though it's going to be Jassim, basically before they can basically take control. So the company will still act as business as usual. But they're trying to claim that it'll take 6 to 12 weeks for the Premier League to pass the fit and proper test, and it will take 8 to 12 weeks for the SEC to sign off on the deal. People need to understand this is not a complicated deal, guys. This is complicated because of the Glazers. This deal is literally to buy 69% of United shares. It's a money transaction. The only thing that stands in the way is the Premier League. The Premier League are going to be well briefed on the 9-2 Foundation, and they're going to be very well briefed once they put in their thing. I don't see any problem. I don't see it taking 3 to 4 weeks for the Premier League to okay Sheikh Jassim. This is not a Newcastle situation. Newcastle.
So we basically, in other words, sorry about that. In other words, can we still make signings basically once that we've officially announced?
Of course you can.
Okay.
Of course you can. Signings are already taking place. Pre-negotiations are already taking place. You already have a budget pledged from the budget planning from last year. And that fund was available in January, but they ruled it down to say no, that money is going to be used for the summer window instead. That's why you went on the loan market, pretty much.
And roughly,
Mm.
what do you think our wage budget is? I mean, the budget that we're going to spend this summer. I'm hearing a lot of
Well,
people saying 150 million. Other people saying 300 to 350. I'm not too sure.
yeah, but Unico, I'm throwing back to you. Like, what was the media reporting last summer, and how much did we actually end up spending?
Yeah, we spent more. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly,
So,
exactly. So it all comes down also to lowering down the wage bill and getting a lot of deadwood out. You lower down the wage bill, you sell a lot of players as well, and that we did a calculation approximately. Let's say if you have 100 million in overdraft, pledged by actually it was over 200 million. There was 200 million in overdraft by Bank of America. It's credit overdraft that's available from last year, pledged. Then you go out. You don't have to use all of that, but you can go out and sell a lot of players. You can also lower down the wage bill, which is also meaning that you lower down the FFP because it's spending within your operational means. So I don't know. I think if you look at what Chelsea's done as well, they've been getting around that loophole by offering 7 years contract and installments and stuff like that. So FFP for me, I don't know. It's not really functioning the way it should be, the way it should be designed.
yeah,
And
because I feel
there's
like
ways around it.
most of these owners know how to get around FFP, anyways. Because look how Chelsea managed to get their way around,
No, look
and
at City.
they got City and City, of course, as well. They all find a way around it. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. So we should
Yeah.
be able to as well, in a way.
No, but I mean, another fact is that we just appointed a new guy for the head of negotiations as well. What was his name now? I keep forgetting. I have it written down. Hargreaves. What was it? Matt Hargreaves. It was. He's basically taken over
Yes.
from Matt Judge, and Hargreaves spent, I think, about 14 years as a chief negotiator. Actually, the last 6 years as a chief negotiator for Adidas sports branch, right, in terms of sponsorships and deals. And people in the market saying he's kind of very, very hard negotiator, a similar type to what Chelsea had with Marina. So really hoping that we're not going to get used in the market. I mean, we saw this now recently with Mason Mount. We got to mention that we did an
Yeah.
opening bid apparently on 40 million. Yeah, we're not going to budge on that. This is what we evaluate. We put in that 40 million bid, and that you're probably going to revisit at the end of the season if you're smart. Because we know that Todd
Yeah.
Bowley needs to offload and needs to sell. So, hey, what about this Mason Mount? You're coming at the end of the window, kind of not really end, but you know what I'm saying. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, because
Yeah. I
they're
think.
thinking like if we are Manchester United at the old, like, oh yeah, we're gonna milk them dry here, just
Yeah.
because it's Manchester United, we're having new ownership. I think that they're trying to keep everything down, like what they're leaking out to the press. So they don't know that we have money. That's the thing. All of a sudden, we get new ownership. Everyone
Okay, that
wants
makes
that piece
sense.
of the cake. Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
makes a lot of sense.
Ten Hag and everyone's keeping the cards close to the chest.
Yeah.
We know that Hoyland is advanced. Kim Min-jae, we're talking.
That's
Even
crazy.
if they,
Today they said that Hoyland is worth 80 million. They want for him, something
yeah,
crazy.
but that's them trying. That's what I'm trying to do, right? You can offer
Yeah.
him you can offer like 45, 50 plus add-ons, right? You can negotiate that
Yeah.
add-ons as well. That gives you to not as estimation up to 70, 80. You can meet in the middle, but the negotiations has started, right? That's a positive sign that it's the first talks. Similar with what you see with the takeovers, like as well, you have the first initial bidding, then you up the bid and you negotiate backwards and forwards. And similar what goes on between the agent actually representing both the club and the selling party and the buying party. But at the end of the day, agent always look out for the best interest of his player. So what I wanted to say with Kim Min-jae there is, ain't matter if Bayern Munich is triggering the release clause and comes to a personal terms with the player, and Manchester United is doing the same thing within that release clause period. It comes down to what Kim Min-jae chooses and what project he believes
Yeah.
in.
Yeah, I'm
Mm.
I'm not too worried about the Kim and J news because the release clauses, it becomes active in next month anyway. So I feel
Mm.
like it's just them just doing a pre-agreement, and we've, I think, done it as well already. So then it just depends on the player, like you said.
Yeah.
But a quick question. I know this may be a dream, but I feel like it's a dream for most Man United fans. Once we get the Qataris, do you think we're gonna go back for De Jong? I just want to go back for him, man. Because I know the reason why we couldn't get him was the deferred wages, right? We've got
Yeah.
the money to pay the deferred wages now. Can we not just give him the
You're
wages
not
and just
allowed to
get the
pay his
guy?
deferred wages. That was the problem.
We were not allowed to pay deferred
We
wages.
offered in the second offer when Arnold and Myrtle went to Barcelona, they offered to pay the wages by giving Barcelona more money up front, and the Spanish FA and Spanish League found out about it and basically like, nah, that's not happening. You have to
So
clear his
why did
wages
De Jong
before
come
he
to
leaves.
London near the end of the window? He came to London, like to our offices and everything. He was literally 95%
No, he
done.
didn't.
He was
He didn't
literally
travel
right
to
there.
London. They couldn't settle his wages. Barcelona couldn't pay them, and we weren't allowed to pay them for him. And we wouldn't add their extra, like, it was a lot of money he was owed. He's owed something like 16, 17 million euros in deferred wages. You're not leaving that sitting on the table.
The problem there, I mean, call a spade because it comes down to the pandemic period as well. You have shift of two different presidents. You had Laporta, you have Bartomeu as well, and during the pandemic, there was no really written down in contract. Everyone has to lower down the wages, so he took a pay cut. Basically, he didn't take salary, and that ended up piling up to 17, 18 million in euros. And then Laporta came on board and said, no, that was not me. That was like, Bartomeu, right? So it's been just a worn out legal battle as well, because every sports agency, they have also, intermediates and legals that working on those contracts. It's not that transparent what people think it is. So at the end of the day, if they, this is money we're talking about, this is players' careers we're talking about. What if you all of a sudden, somebody chops off your leg and you cannot play football anymore? This is money, right? You're still young,
Right.
and you're still bound to an employment contract by Barcelona, so you're not allowed to go out and speak like, I'm going to go to Manchester United. You're always going to talk, no, I'm happy here, I'm good here, like, I'm settled here, right? But Merzo and Rich and Allen wouldn't go to Barcelona if there was no indications. They were sitting there negotiating for 2 days. They were captured. They had a price agreed with Barcelona as well. And it came down to, at the end of the day, they couldn't solve it, right? I don't care what everyone says. At the end of the day, it comes down to that the agency advised the player to stay. You're not walking away without this money. And this is what really agents do. They do take care of the players. They do take care of the 360 degrees in terms of, taking care of the bills, everything, being the marriage counselor, whatever, counseling, legal advice. That's part of the agency service. It's not just the transfers. You know what I mean? So you're always representing the player at heart, the player's interest at heart. But now you're coming out again, I can hear it, because Barcelona has sold off the kids. They sold off the levers. They cannot hardly register Gavi and all them players, right? Which they listed as the future, right? Important players. And lo and behold, like, De Jong is not on that important list. And they need to sell off a lot of players. They
So
need
do
to.
you think we have any chance of basically getting him? Because I know Eric.
I don't
wants him.
really. I
Eric,
don't want to speak in that matter. But all I want is what's best for the player from an intermediate perspective, right? And
honestly, I don't
yes,
think there's a player in world football that's
I'm going to be
better
calling
than
it a
what he
night now,
does.
mate.
Yeah. Okay. Just to answer you, Unico, like, I'm always looking at the player, what's best for the player. And current situation, I don't see Barcelona being challenging, or I don't know, they cannot even afford to bring back Messi and all that stuff, right? So they're literally in a really, really big up, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Good night. So they're really in financial trouble, to be honest. If they're going to revisit, it's going to be a lot of media spin again. I don't want that. If Ten Hag wants him, we know that Ten Hag raised this player. It's literally like brought him up and knows him, and he built this whole summer transfer window around De Jong. Why do you think he stuck? He was adamant, he was confident, he was getting him. He was constantly briefed that this is going to be a problem with the legals, but he kind of had to divert to a Casemiro at the end of the day, 2 weeks after the transfer window closed, because then he realized that, hey, this ain't going to happen. This is going to be probably revisited in January. So I believe that he might be revisiting, right? But however, the overall team shape might have changed. His plan might have changed. But to have a Frankie de Jong in the team, oh my God, yes, 100%, man. That's what we need, I think. Or a Moses Caicedo.
But I feel like a player like De Jong that can just get out of the first phase, and with his drop of the shoulder and everything, we don't have a player like that in the squad right now. We don't have
But
really
can you
players that
imagine?
can
Like,
just
I mean, let's just play with the
yeah.
thought, right? I don't want to be a big advocate to say like, yeah, we're getting Frankie. Like, it's up to Ten Hag at the end of the day. We will see
Yeah,
because the silly
I hope
season is
you speak to
opening.
the
We've seen
Qataris
stories
and tells
already
them.
coming out in the press, indications,
Yeah.
right? Feeling fillers. But let's see. We don't. We
Yeah.
basically parking that. I hope that Barcelona go broke. I don't like them. Madrid is
I don't like
franchise.
them as well.
They are mafias, man.
No,
Seriously.
they played with us in summer. Like that's when I started hating them even more. Of course, the two finals UCL, what they done to us, but that was the final straw, man.
They're a nightmare to deal with. Like they're good at buying players, but selling their own players, they're assholes, to be honest, right? And
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if Real Madrid goes for Mbappe. You know, they are obsessed. This Florian Perez is obsessed. He didn't get him. He was like he got stood up at the altar. They had a marriage agreement, and Mbappe never showed up to the marriage to the altar. Right?
honestly, what I think is once we get the Qataris, like every time when a new owner comes, especially at a club like Manchester United, which is so big, they like to make like a statement signing, like a big Galactico signing kind of thing. So I just think we're either going to get three of the three
Mm.
following players, either Kane, I don't think it's going to happen because of Dan Levy.
No, Kane is
Neymar I feel is more realistic because of the Qatari links and the PSGs and all that stuff. And if you want to start dreaming a little bit, maybe, but I don't believe it will happen. Maybe Mbappe, but yeah, I think one of these three will come to us. I don't know why.
Yeah, I know, brother. I feel you. I hear you. I see you. I don't see you right now, but it's okay. Be anonymous as well. But I hear you at least. And the thing is, we're moving forward. And at the end of the day, what Eric Ten Hag decides, we have to go. But now it's a mystery. We don't know his midfield targets. We're hearing that we are pulling out the interest with Harry Kane. I think it's I don't know.
I think that's
For me,
bullshit. I
is
think
it?
that's bullshit.
Is it a play? I mean, when I spoke to Graham Bailey, like, a couple of weeks ago, he said there was paper talks, and he basically said literally what everyone is saying, that Daniel Levy rather sell his mother to somebody else than sell, to sell Harry Kane to a Premier League club. And of course, the priority is to milk out as much money for Harry Kane, who
Yeah, but
has still 1 month.
money talks at the end of the day. So if you come with the
Yeah,
right
but
money to Daniel
if you
Levy,
kind of wait at the end of what you're going to do, like, you need money, like you invested 1 billion in a stadium and you have 100 million squad, right? Shit squad. At the end of the day, you need to strengthen or you're going to be relegated. They were shit this season. They went through 3 managers.
yeah,
Conte exposed them big time, right? I feel sorry for you, like Spursy fans, but there's a reason why you call Spursy being Spursy. There's no ambition to win anything, and you haven't won. And Conte was right; he called you out.
yeah.
And there's even said, like, he was sacked. No, he didn't want sacked. Conte is not the person. Conte will walk away without taking money because for him, it's all about pride.
Yeah, and I feel like every other team is gonna get stronger as well.
We have 146 likes. There's over 300 people watching. So I think we can do 200 if people really use their calories.
Yeah.
Push that link button.
Still, we dedicate this to Gordon McQueen, that passed away today. Rest in peace, my friend, and all to your family as well. Yeah, but listen, this is a therapy session anyway. So
Yeah.
if you ask me, who do I want? I think I walked away.
If I was to ask you, both of you guys, Jarvis and Mick, what would be your? I would say let's go for top 5 instead of top 3. Realistic signings, realistic and unrealistic. So, like, if you want to dream, and the other one a bit more.
I would just go realistic because I'm a realist.
Okay, let's go for realistic. Top 5 signings.
I definitely go for Casado. I don't want us to miss a Casado. Casado is a gem. Missing out on Casado is what Mr. Structure, Mr. Nerdin is saying. It's like missing out on Kante when Kante came up. This guy is so good.
Yeah.
I want him in a team.
He's
Apparently, it came out today
well.
that, Arsenal pulled out, apparently, according to what I read today as well. Can Chelsea afford him? I think Chelsea they bought 600 million last, or was it 400 million? Arsenal is linked to 100% buying Rice, so they cannot afford to buy Casado and Rice. Something's got to give, which is good for us though, because Rice is a good player, but he's pretty much a London boy. He likes to stay in London, right?
I think Man City is gonna get into bidding war with Arsenal and eventually get Rice. I don't know why. They always end up doing that. They just wait till the last minute, and then they wait for the
I mean,
other
look
club
at
to
it,
do
mate.
the first bid.
Unico, look at it. Like, you know, the star boy is gone to Real Madrid. The boy that
Yes.
everyone wanted, Bellingham. Liverpool was in tears, right? Because they went out and said like, oh, he's definitely coming to us. You know,
All
a
the
fellow
Henderson
content,
interviews.
a fellow content creator was shaving his hair, like, you know, bald because he made a bet, and we were sending him super chats. Don't do it, like, but at least bald is best. What we're saying.
Yeah.
So it is like never say what do you say? Never say
Never
hey
say
until
never.
never say. Oh well, don't. Footballing gods do exist, and transfer windows change like the weather. Like, you know, one day it's blue skies. You look up, you think you have a done deal, and next thing you get hijacked by somebody else. It happens all the time. It's a dirty business. So I don't know. We just have to wait and see. I definitely think that Manchester United is in for Casado. They're definitely looking to strike. But it all comes down to the new ownership.
I think once like before Paul left, he said I think it's going to be concluded by Monday, Tuesday. I feel the same. I think Monday, maybe Tuesday, it will be announced all over Twitter. And once that's announced, I think then the interest that we have of Casado, let's just say, will start becoming more apparent to the people. That's what I think, in my opinion. But at the minute, it's just Chelsea, and
yeah. Let's see. Like, you know, it's a mystery for us with the midfield targets. The ones that's for free that we know, which is a student that we can get for free, is a Rabiot, right? Mason Mount. It's okay. He's a squad depth. It's a better than Scott McTominay, mate.
Fan. I'm a French national team fan. I've watched this guy more than enough. I don't think that's what we need, man.
Yeah.
I don't think he's all right in terms of squad depth, but
look, I cannot lie, man. A dream midfield would be a Casemiro, Frankie De Jong with the Bruno on top, with another midfielder as well, right? Damn, that would be good. And plus that spine, solidify that spine with a new goalkeeper. Let's say an Onana or Costa. Right?
Costa, yeah,
dude. And then
I think our first position that we should concentrate on is a goalkeeper.
And then you have
and foremost.
Then we keep Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That spider legs, man. This guy has been such a revelation this second half of the season. God, what an improvement. Then you have Kim Min-jae coming in, hopefully rotating with Varane. That offers you rotation. You have you keep Lindelof to rotate with the butcher, right, Martinez, and then already you have Luke Shaw, and let us call what a signing, Malacia. What got him for so cheap, like 15 something million, right? And he turned out to be a great player. So you don't have to splash the cash on big names, you know. We want players to play with heart and passion, right? And then
honestly,
on top,
in the comments right now, I just read Judy Sports said we should go get Amrabat. I think he's a really
Amrabat,
good player,
yes.
I think Amrabat is an alternative. Maybe if we can't get one, he's very good. He's very, very good.
Sofiane Amrabat, yeah, you can get him for 35 mil, definitely.
He's got the blend of technical ability and pace and power. He's got everything, literally. He's special. I like it.
On top, which is very interesting because Eric Ten Hag always talks about tools and firepower, right? Currently, we didn't have much firepower on top. Like Weghorst didn't work. It was Aloni, by the way. Thank God. The horse is not bolted, right? We all saw it. It was fun. It was fun with his last. He lived his dream. He was playing with passion. His goal celebration. Oh, even when somebody else scored, Weghorst was the one that was partying like it was 1999. So big up for his passion, right? To be honest, right? Yeah, I mean, come on. I'll never forget his celebration. Like, you know, even when we scored the penalty, it was a penalty shootout. It was an FA Cup thing. The only one ran to the crowd was Weghorst.
It was the Brighton semi-final. I was
Brighton,
there,
yeah.
I was watching it live. I was watching it live.
That was wicked. Flashbacks, right? But we're talking about firepower, and of course, Marcus Rashford, big up for him for 30 goals this season. But we need more firepower. We have a certain number 11 that's still undoubted fully what we're going to do. And we're talking about Greenwood. That eventually we need to talk about.
I think he comes back. Honestly, I think
so too.
I've said this to my friends for a long time now. I know how football club works, their business to begin with. I've given like many examples to people as well. Like, for example, Marcos Alonso, I think he had a car accident with someone. Okay, maybe it's an accident, but he came back and everything was forgotten. Quincy Promise still plays football and he killed someone, I think. Like, football is business at the end of the day. If they can find a way to bring him back, they will.
I don't know. I mean, my stance on this is like I'm neutral, right? I don't get involved with the you know,
Neither do
with
I, honestly. Yeah.
either. But I look at it from HR standpoint. Like you're an employee by Manchester United, you have an employment contract, so technically, you belong to the club, right? So it's up to you, the club, what you're going to do, right? And the club needs to be transparent to come out, even to have a statement, even have an interview with Mason to say like what really happened, because we don't really know, right? All we know, he's been cleared, right? You're still technically employed by the club. There's a split opinion within the fan base. I do understand. It's
Right.
appalling, but still, like, you know, what do we know? Was the evidence tampered? Was it
Yeah.
role play? Was this leaked? Did somebody hack the phone,
Which is
change the
very weird
audio?
because
I don't
he's
know.
back. He's back with her as well. They're
They
having a
have
baby.
having
They're
a
having a
baby.
baby, and at the end of the day, we're fans of football, right? So we
Yeah,
can't really
we
get
are
involved
consumers of
into
the game.
the law and everything. That's their work.
But
At the
our
end of the
fan
day,
base
he
is
comes.
so
Yeah.
you know, over the years, what we learned is in Twitter fan base are so divided, like, you know, flip flopping all the
Yeah.
time. Even if he starts playing for Manchester United, the minute he starts 2 goals in a row,
They'll
he's-
forget
he-
everything. That's what. Yeah.
they'll
That's what I'm
forget
saying.
everything. As
Yeah.
soon as he starts scoring a brace or something, people forget everything and
Everything.
wax
They'll
his
forget
lyricals and
everything.
singing his
And
name.
that's why I said I feel like this is Manchester United's plan to slowly ease him in so the fans forget about it, and then when he starts scoring, which he will, because he's such a special player,
Yeah.
everyone will forget about it.
But do you agree with Simon Harris says Rabiot for free is a better deal than Amrabat?
I
No.
disagree. No,
And
no.
there was another comment in terms of, I'm going to throw it back to you. If we're
And they're
going for
two
a new,
different players, by the way. They're not the same
yeah,
players, Rabiot and
if we
Amrabat.
go for a new sporting director, which we're
Yeah.
obviously going to do eventually, because John Murtaugh is, I don't know, so.
Yeah,
Who would you go for?
I
Who
heard
would be
from
your choice? Overmars that already worked with Ten
I,
Hag,
I would
or would
love
you
a
go
Campos,
for
but he's unavailable.
Campos?
Oh
Would
yeah,
you
he's
rather?
unavailable.
Would you be better to have somebody that Eric Ten Hag has already have a good connection with, that understands Eric Ten Hag's playing style, his vision? Basically, as a sporting
True.
director, your job is to make this happen, right? Whatever the manager wants, your job as a sporting director is to facilitate the deal, right?
Yeah.
Then you go out to Matt Hargreaves to say, "Go negotiate this deal. Go get it. Ten Hag wants it, right? We want to please the
Yeah.
manager." So
Honestly,
I would say,
yeah. I feel like since
oh,
Overmars left Ajax as well, Ajax went on a
it's a little bit
downhill.
wishy that, yeah, there was a little bit of a something not so nice what we heard. But then again, we have somebody, a legend, that's going to retire, CEO as well from Ajax.
Yeah. But I
Van
feel
der
like the
Sar.
reason why the Ajax was doing good was because of Overmars more so
Yep.
than Van der Sar, honestly.
Van der Sar.
And
What
it
about
shows.
Van der Sar?
I feel like if we get Overmars, I will be happy. But just Van der Sar on his own, I don't think it would be good enough for us, honestly.
Yeah. Ayush, namaste. How are you, sir, in India? I saw something. Guys, you're so amazing in the channel. I mean, we try not to ignore you. There's so many of you. There's 300 constantly in this chat, and we're just having a therapy. We're having a midnight session all of a sudden. Van der Sar
Yeah,
isn't a sporting director.
I'm hearing when Sheikh Jassim comes and finally the club is taken over, the first priority he's doing is actually replacing the CEO, which is Richard Arnold. That's a positive news, actually. So,
Sally Red Devil in the house as well. Good night to Angie. Did Angie go to sleep? Oh my God.
Angie, don't leave
Angie,
me.
she's probably listening and having this on while she's sleeping, I guess. I always go to sleep listening to podcasts for some reason. And that's my sleeping pill. Like just put it on my speakers, put it on, go to sleep. I don't know. This kind of puts me to sleep, guys. I don't know what you doing to fall asleep. Do you listen to
I do the
podcasts
same.
or you do? Yeah. What do you listen to?
Just YouTube. Either
YouTube.
maybe some Man United related talks,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
maybe some boxing stuff, MMA, whatever I like. Basically, I just watch it. I don't watch it, but I put it next to my ear and I just fall asleep.
I'm weird. I listen to geopolitics, to be honest. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's finance and geopolitics is my interest, right? You know, so there's brilliant channels called the Duran or something. There's to Alex Christofero and Alex something. And I listen to a mate of mine from California called Hinkle. It's called The Dive. You know, he started this channel. He's totally the platform demonetized, but he's a guy that speaks freedom of speech, right? So I'm all for freedom of speech, and I don't really like this cancellation and You got to be careful what you're saying on YouTube nowadays because
Yeah.
they're monitoring. So yeah, you cannot say certain things. But this guy is very smart the way he says it. His phrase, I didn't say that. You can use your mind. You know what I'm alluding to? Yeah.
Stan Chief saying Amrabat is a good shout. Smart signing, brilliant player at Fiorentina and Morocco. And I must say, I agree because Amrabat, he's really good at his passing game, both the short, medium, and long passes. He will be a distributor of the ball, like Xavi was in Barcelona, and partially as Rodri is in City at the moment. So bringing him in would be a smart signing.
Yeah, Lisa. I'm towing your line, Van der Sar, but Van der Sar is not a sporting director. He will be a perfect replacement for Richard Arnold, as he's a more of a commercial marketing guy,
Yeah.
But what if you have an Omer, bring back that Overmars, having Van der Sar, like you clone that not the Arsenal, sorry, the Ajax, because there's people that understand the philosophy of the manager. That's it, right? Italian press, according to books, is now saying that Barella has no interest in Newcastle, plus 50 million is too low. My God, Barella, I love this guy. What a class. Barella is such a great defender, man.
But
Italian
Barella
classical.
will never go for 50 million. He will never go
No,
for
no,
50
no.
million.
But
No
that
way.
the Italian art of defending. Jesus Christ. And you can imagine Kim Min-jae, he's the number one in Serie A in interceptions, right? Playing in Italian Serie A league, which they are the masters of defending. You can imagine how good this guy is. We had John Shin on the channel. He's American Korean as well. Biggest fan of Kim Min-jae. And at the end of the show, it's like, please address Kim Min-jae. And he did it in Korean. And apparently he did a video on Rasmus Højlund as well, which Rasmus Højlund reacted like, oh, great video. And God, Rasmus Højlund. Yeah, we talked about the striker position. We never got to that. Yeah, I would like to see a Rasmus Højlund, 100%. I was a big fan of Benjamin Sesko, right? They're pretty much the same caliber. They have the explosiveness, they have the height, they're young, they're up and coming. They're not the finished article. And I want us to sort of steer away from the clear and obvious, like we don't have to pay 100 million, 150, right? We tried this before, like we got Cavani, we brought back Ronaldo, we had Zlatan. Big up Zlatan, by the way, retired at 41. What a player, man.
But
Come on.
Mick, would you not say those names that you just mentioned right now, would you not say they're the wrong personnel? Even though we bought Cavani was very old at that age, and he was never really a clinical striker even in his younger years.
You mentioned something very interesting, personnel, the chemistry within team. That's something important what the manager is also looking
for
at.
instance, let's say we get Kane tomorrow. I have no doubt whatsoever Kane takes us as close to the Premier League as we can get. I can't lie. Because when we got Van Persie around that same age, look what happened. Those type of players are the difference makers to getting the Premier League title and to not getting it. So I think Kane, if we got any chance, we go for it. That's what I think.
Yeah, Jonathan Ball saying he sleeps to audiobooks. Wicked. So back to your striker thing. What I'm saying is that I think football has changed. I mean, the ones that are still globetrotter style is Real Madrid. Like they would like to go for this expensive signings just to make a point because they are president run, they are electioners run. So every president comes in want to impress the fan base, right? So I'm going to bring you, Mbappe, or I'm going to bring you this player, right? And they brought Jude Bellingham, big up, because everyone thought he was going to Premier League. He went to Real Madrid, big up. That I'm impressed with that, by the way. So for us, I think I'm a big advocate in going to look at the grassroots, because when I'm talking about grassroots, I'm talking about the South American. You got to look at personnel. You got to look at the chemistry within the squad already, right? We saw that it didn't work with Ronaldo, like his last Swan song either. Like he was too much of an ego, right? According to my opinion, I thought it was a mistake to bring him back. It was more of a commercial signing. I got excited, Ronaldo back, right? It didn't work, right? Because we had to force feed Ronaldo all the time. The patterns of attack and play changed. It was pretty much give the ball to Ronaldo, give the ball to Ronaldo, give the ball to Ronaldo. And I think, like in a way, in an Erik ten Hag system, he's looking for a more of a receiver of the ball, like a Rasmus Højlund, that can transition in the attack, that is press resistant as well. Because what we're seeing here is he's defending as a team, he's attacking as a team, his whole shape is kind of depending on that pivotal Frankie de Jong kind of
Yeah.
build-up play, but also somebody that can pass the ball to the receiving end of the striker that can play with his back against the wall. That's why he liked Martial. But Martial,
Martial's
for
very
me,
good at that, but he's always injured.
yeah, but Martial has lost a yard of pace. He's also
He
cheat
lost a
string.
lot. He lost a lot of pace. A lot.
Yeah, he's lost his athleticism. He lost his yeah.
Why do you think? Why do you think?
Having the same problem, Alien Ten. My wife nags me.
Mick,
I cannot say.
why do you think he lost his pace? I think it's because from all the injuries he got, then I feel like most of our players, whenever they get injured, they do a lot of gym work and then they build on muscle mass too much, which then hinders their pace in a way.
It comes down to your
Because
structure.
you could say Rashford as well. Has lost a yard of pace a little bit, in my opinion. He used to be way quicker when he was younger.
The answer is can have many thoughts, because you got to look at how you're built, like, what's your DNA structure, what is your genetics, right? Some people are fortunate to be like, like Bruno Fernandes, never gets injured, just like he can run. Some people, like let's say Dembele, was it in Barcelona, constantly gets injured. As soon as he starts running, he pulls a hamstring, unfortunately. But then you have to understand exactly what Novak Djokovic did in tennis. He realized what was his problem with his body. Once he realized he was gluten allergic, he adapted his training and his diet and his style towards his body, and he learned to master, and he just rose up to his level. And the thing is, with players also have to look after the diets and understand how the body is working, right? Take it from I used to train a lot. I used to go to the gym 5 days a week, and in order to do so, you need to sleep, recover well, eat well, good food, and just don't overlift, don't go heavy all the time, right? So it is what it is. So you have to look at yourself. What Bruno Fernandes said in an interview, like, especially what Elian Tenor was saying about my wife, he said, my wife is my most supporting thing. She allows me to take the naps, right? And that's the thing in terms of recovering, to take naps, right? So yeah, he goes have training, but he has that recovery to taking 1 or 2 hours naps. Okay. What happened to Unico?
I don't know. Try to add him to the stream again.
Oh, you're back there, mate.
Yeah, I don't know. My internet connection just went. I could hear you breaking up the whole time.
Yeah. So that's what it is. Like, even Ferguson could be the next Robbie Keane, but I still think he needs time to adapt in Brighton. Yeah, too early, RSV. Too early. I like to see another Irishman. 100%. Wow, 1 hour and 50 minutes almost, and we still have 300 people with insomnia.
We are talking everybody.
Mr. Driscoll, how are you doing? Are you also having insomnia? God, where I am now, it's almost 1 o'clock midnight. So yeah. And Jarvis,
if there was one player both of you guys would like to see get chances next season, who would it be? For me, Hamad.
Ahmad, I would like back. Ahmad, I would like to see. I would like to see the youngster.
I don't want him on alone.
For me, it's Pilastri. You saw him yesterday playing for Uruguay. He had 2 assists. He was brilliant. I can't understand why he don't get more playing time. So I would like him to have a great preseason and get a chance from Ten Hag. A run of games.
I have a theory, Jarvis. Enlighten me to have a theory. I think that Erik ten Hag didn't have time this season. Erik ten Hag, his first time as a manager, wanted to achieve his objective, right? So he didn't rotate much, Big up for him for achieving, like, winning silverware and finishing third. But he didn't rotate much because he wanted to, of course, you want to put your stamp, like, I'm the first manager to come in here. I want to do well. I want to finish top 4. But I think next season now, especially in preseason, right, Pilastri is like a messy clone. He's seen 100%. He had time to assess it. Like I always said, like, he came in with a blank piece of canvas, like a Picasso master painter, right? He put some slabs on the paint slab. No, I'm not saying a slab head. Sorry, guys. But he threw a little bit of a Fred on there, a little bit of McTominay. That didn't work. He mixtured. Then he had some injuries. He hasn't really completed his masterpiece painting Picasso. But trust me, he's going to go in the summer market to buy more acrylic paint to finish that masterpiece. So basically, we just scrapped the surface of that painting. So yeah, I think there would be a lot of outgoings and having more players that he thinks will fit his system, because he's looking at system players, not just the clear and obvious signings, like, you know.
Mm.
And that's why I believe that
Yeah.
he's looking at Mason Mount because he's a system player. He's looking at different players because it fits his system, right?
Yeah,
I'm
I feel,
different.
I feel like Eric, at the start of the season, he tried to play the way he wants to play, and he kind of backfired real quickly because we lost the first 2 games,
Yeah.
and then we didn't really see his style of play every single game. So the one that we won against Liverpool, the first win of the season, it was more so transition, which was what we're good at, and which is what we used to play under Ole. So he understood that first season is more so the results. No one's going to judge him on how he played, so he just reverted back to that. However, in glimpses, in moments during the game, you could see times where how he wants to play, quick passes in behind, the strikers running in behind, linking up together as well. So I feel like if you just give him time, the right personnel, you'll see more so of the Eric Ten Hag football that he wants to play.
Yes, true. Smash the like
Yeah.
United Devil. You absolutely caught us. We need more
But-
coffee, man. I'm empty.
but when-
I need a refill.
But when we started getting too many fixtures and injuries, at that point the football just went down, and I feel like he just wanted to get wins. That's about it, which is understandable.
Seriously, Lilies United. I love this one. He's going to sleep. I watch Phil Jones legend. What a legend, Phil Jones. The Mr. Phil Jones. We will never know what happened, but obviously he had a surgery that went horribly wrong. That's what I understood as well, guys. So yeah, he actually retired. Mystery. He was actually play whenever he played with the heart. He played with the Manchester United badge. What's the temperature in Tromsø, Jarvis? And can we see your window?
No. I'm boring people with that window, but it's 14 degrees outside, so it's not very warm.
For everyone that's tuning in, we have a trick. Like Jarvis is far the northern part of Norway you can come, right? And in summer, it never gets dark, right? It's like whenever he opens his window, even if it's like 3 a.m., it looks like it's 3 p.m. in the afternoon, right?
Mm.
But in the winter, on the other hand, it's super dark, right?
Yeah.
Never gets light.
Then you go insomnia mode for 4 months. It's
Yeah,
horrible.
guys. Big up to all of you in the community, the VR room. You're just amazing. You keep coming. You're interacting with yourself. Shinking, wow. Sinink, and one. Sorry, man, I don't want to slaughter your name. I'm dyslexic. Tomorrow night we are doing Sean Paul Shake. Yes, shake that bit. Annabella, shake that bit. No, shake that bit. Sheikh Jassim, shake that bit. Yeah, I get it. Thanks for the donation. So nice. We are working night shift here, right? We are keeping you. I don't know. Is it a therapy session? Hope it is. Insomnia. I need more coffee though.
Can I ask a question for
Cynic
both of you guys?
Hmm. Feel free.
Was you guys ever worried about the Sheikh Jassim not winning basically
No.
the takeover?
No.
I was never worried as well. No,
No.
I feel like
I will tell you why.
I
will
feel
tell
like
you
I was
why.
always confident in him.
Hmm.
Because
Man, I will tell you why. Because I lived in the region for over 10 years, right? And I advised local businesses like Emiratis, and they are usually like, come from the royal family, kind of like, you have a certain level of Emiratis own business, which they hire the best in class people to be the advisories. And I was fortunate to be advisor for Sheikh Tahnoon in Abu Dhabi. And the thing is that with Qataris and Emiratis, once they get into buying the best in class or want something and go public about it, they will never lose, right? And the fallacy that say that, the identity of 9-2 Foundation and Sheikh Jassim was questioned is just bullshit, because, you hire the best in class people to negotiate the deal. That's what you've seen like Shabazz. You've seen he hires the best leaders, the finance experts to do the brokerage of the deal, to deal with the counterpart, which is the Rain Group and the Glazers as well, and Latham and Watkins, which is the United PLC's legal firm, right? And at the end of the day, so what they do is just reporting back to Sheikh Jassim or if it's on an Indians camp, they're just reporting back the status. What should we do? Should we increase the bid, or what's the risk analysis here? What is the milestones in this project? Rest assured, when you're receiving those tender documents, there's certain checklists that you have to follow, right? And yes, there's never been a linear process, but in any sort of purchase, or you always have project milestones set, right, to achieve. And if you are a rain group, you have a certain milestones to achieve to receive extra bonus, right? So therefore they were rushing into to get that extra payment, right? It's similar, like you get paid on instigating of the project. You taken a you sort of, as rain group, you might have 4%, let's say 4% of their overall sale, but you have a starting fee, like, which is called a retainer. But in the clause, you might have, say, if you manage to close this deal before Q2 2023, you get an extra bonus. And if you're glazers, you only think about money, you're delaying the inevitable not to pay out that bonus. Does that make sense as well? So, but at the end of the day, like, it's always been a design process. The shadow bidding has always been designed to find the highest bidder, right? To play that shadow bidding, like, like you're playing a Texas Hold'em. Like if I'm playing poker with Jarvis, do I call his bluff? Does he really sit with a 4 pair of aces, or should I go
never
all
bluff.
in?
I never bluff.
You never
Or
bluff.
do I?
But if the game of poker is going well too long and nobody wants to call the bluff,
Mick,
Yeah.
also, I feel like one of the things that people don't really pay attention to is something that happened quite a while back. I think it was after the World Cup. The Glazers went all the way to Qatar to meet them personally. They wouldn't do that if they're not serious about sending them to the Qataris,
No, but
They didn't do that
true.
to Sir Jim. They didn't go to Sir Jim personally. They didn't see
That-
his face.
You hire the best thing. Mick and Jarvis, even Malakian thinks he's Qatari, backs the Reuters. Yeah, I know. I spoke to him just a while back ago as well. I know who you're talking about. I actually sent him a link to come in today, but I don't know if I haven't checked my WhatsApp because I shared it for him to come in and have a say as well. So big up for Phil Brown as well. He's been was actually the first one back in November to say, like, watch out for Qatar. So yeah, Phil has also been keeping this battle going for a long time. So big respect, Phil, if you're listening. Give you a call tomorrow, mate. What were we saying, mate, before? Yeah, you said something about
They went to Qatar to meet the Glazers.
Yeah, they did. It's well documented. But even during the World Cup, because it was pretty much to pimp up, because this was designed to, nobody wanted to pay. The valuation by Forbes was 4.5 billion, right? In total, right? According to Forbes, however, if you're gonna play that dirty game by doing something called shadow bidding, you hire Rain Group, Joe Revich, who is experienced, right? They did the Chelsea sales, right, in 3 months, but of course they were rushed to do it. It was a public listing open, so it wasn't shadow bidding in a way. But this process has always been designed to get the most premium as you can for your share prices, right?
Yeah.
So it's all been about inflating at the end of the day. Poker face. My poker face, my poker face. So in layman's term, this is I'm trying to explain this as easy as possible, but man, you play Monopoly at the end of the day. It's just like a billionaire Squid Games. Like, they're playing on different levels. Like, when you are, there's different level of richness. We can say that Ineos and Glazers are poor billionaires in that pyramid chain. When you're dealing with the elites, which is
I like to call Sir Jim a fake billionaire.
No, but there's levels, like, some people have investments, they're asset rich, but not cash rich.
Yeah.
But then if you go to as soon as you got the interest from a Qatari, because they did mingle around the Saudis, they did mingle around with the Dubai. Dubai had a kind of a verbal agreement in the very first stages. Let's say, like,
quickly,
then they pulled out as soon as Qatari came in, because Qatari really wanted this, right? Because Qatari just hosted up the World Cup, and after the World Cup, they want to have a sort of a continuously, because oil and gas is going to eventually run out. So for them, it's more to give back to the sporting, because they invested in the railroads, infrastructure, they build stadiums, they're going to demolish stadiums, but why they would probably look to bring in, like, yes, they're going to bring in NBA and baseball and stuff like that. So it's funny because we did cover this, and then 1 week ago, like certain journalists was coming out to say what we said as well, because there's a sweetening over the deal to offer the Glazers to take the favorite of 92 Foundation. It's basically to say, wait a minute, you have beIN Sports, we're building a stadium that you can, bring AFL, and Buccaneers can play
NFL,
here.
the incentives that the Qataris bring is so many incentives.
Yeah,
for
you
them.
can bring in your AFL. You can have an exclusive broadcasting right in US, and this is worth billions, right, in the long run.
A lot of money.
So you got to look at that as well in the decision
Honestly, they can't
phase.
say no. They can't say no to the Qataris bid and
No.
everything. They sweetened
No.
it so much as well for them. Like how much more can they do?
Geopolitically, it plays well as well, because if you look at Qatar, they own, believe it or not, they own almost like a lot of projects in UK, right? And
yeah, they own buildings as well. They own buildings and everything.
Buildings, even Dubai, even Damak properties, like they built the two high-rise buildings in London as well.
Exactly. Yeah, there's one in
Damak
London.
properties. Yeah. And but it's that's geopolitics. Government makes deal. You have Qatar provides you with LNG gas and provides you with energy for the next couple of years as well. So that's a fact, because you had the Emir visiting last year. It was Boris Johnson back then, and they struck a deal for the LNG gas and lots of projects. And you saw that just before the king's coronation as well. The Emir was visiting Rishi Sunak, and they had the continuous conversations about further investments.
Yeah, they have a very good relations with the UK government.
Yeah. So you can say that play a part as well. So if you say, "Oh, this is going to be a problem to get through," I think the government is kind of going to intervene with the Premier League and say, "Hey, if you prove the Saudi Arabia, you're going to improve them as well." And I think there's certain publications there's certain think tanks out there as well that don't like it, and unfortunately we live in those worlds, right? But you got to also look at, hang on a second, where is Old Trafford located? It's in Manchester, right? What rules and regulations falls under it? It's in UK laws and regulations. So what about talking about LGBTQ rights and human rights when everything is going to be in UK? So these guys are just investors at the end of the day, right? They're pledging funds to make Manchester great and everything around it. Like it's going to create jobs. They apparently gonna
they're
bidding for
new hotels,
even
new train, new jobs.
They will also want to take over the Manchester airport to build that up again to be a world class airport, which is 100% needed. There's a lot of land banks as assets as well that belongs to Manchester United that they can do a lot of things.
This season was the first time I went to Man United ground to watch a game. I could have went during the Ole era, but I decided not to because, in my opinion, one of the worst times as a Man United fan.
I haven't been there for 6-7 years, man. I refuse to go.
I did, so I went for was it Southampton where we drew and we played very well. We played an amazing game, but we couldn't score. And I kid you not, when I went inside the stadium, I was so mad because all I could think about is how the Glazers just ran this club down to the mud.
Right.
I was in the place where I was sitting. It was the tightest entrance ever. So when people wanted to get in and out, it was hell. Like you was touching each other. Like I could feel the person's leg. It was so awkward, honestly. Like I was just like, nah, there's no way Man United Football Club, the biggest in the world, is run like this. And then the drain up in the roof and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, I have a little situation here too. Yeah, I think I have to pack up soon and close the stream because it's been 2 hours. I've been fortunate to have what he says, like, but everything you have to pay back in dividends. You know what we're talking about. We men, we think we wear the pants, but at the end of the day, it's not, because women are amazing creatures. Like they will always duplicate things, right? I will go on a rant here to say, but this is a fact. You give them a sperm, they give you a child. That's duplication, right? You give them money, they cook you a meal, right? You give them hell. That's it. That will be duplicated. Like guys, girls, you will understand what I'm talking about as well. But this is actually true, right? Isn't it? Like
very interesting.
So big up to all of you women out there. Like that's that's you actually you give life. That's it, right? You give life. Wow, we turn into a podcast of talking life all of a sudden.
That's
No,
what the
but
Glazers got us doing.
and the thing is, what I coming into women and women's rights and stuff like that. God, this is so much uneducation. Because if when I came down to the Middle East, when I was surprised how they were treating women like princesses, right? They would not look at them, they would not touch them, they treated them like queens and princesses, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't even dare to look at the local Emirati girl because they can just point a finger at me and I could be arrested, right?
Yeah.
Lisa Johnson is laughing. So, Lisa, I think you understand what I was saying, right? So,
Like that in every Middle Eastern country, you can't stare or look at them for too long, else you get in
yeah,
trouble. Yeah.
do this experiment, take your wife or girlfriend, look her in their eyes, and say, "I'm the man in the house." She will just laugh at you. Okay. She's like, no, it's her kitchen. It's full of booby traps.
You know,
That's the
you know
best.
what it is, Mick. You can be the king, but she has to be the queen.
That's it. Always treat
That's
your
the way.
woman as a queen. That's it. 169 likes, people. Oh, I like this. 169 likes, people. Done. Hit the button. Big up.
69,
Z-
dude.
z- Sleeping army. No, we are waking up army now. So, guys, as we said, me and Jarvis, we said we're not going to do anything today. Then 7 o'clock, Jarvis, we have to do this for the community.
And then I said, okay, only a short one.
And then
And now
2
2
hours and
hours
5
later.
minutes. I think it's been a brilliant chat. Unico. Is that your real name or
Yeah.
what's your?
No, this is my Twitter name. I actually follow you on Twitter. It's
Oh, you
my
do.
real
Am I
name.
following you back, mate? Because I've been.
No, you're not. Actually, my at on Twitter is NO, so no flex zone
No
with
flex
2
zone.
E's. Yeah,
I do
underscore, 2 underscores.
apologize. This, you know what? I get bombarded
It's
on
okay.
Twitter. Even DMs hence ends up in spam. I do promise I will go back because I have a ratio. I want to have as many people I follow, as many people I want to.
If your DMs are
follow.
open, I'll just DM you. It's okay.
I don't know if it is. I don't think so because I get spammed, right, a lot, and I don't want to.
Honestly, I don't remember how I came across you. I think it was last year, but I don't know if I think one of your tweets just came up on my
Oh,
timeline,
really?
and I was really
Oh, yeah.
stressed about the De Jong news and everything.
I
And
have
then
an idea. Mick. Telegram.
Telegram.
You
Yes.
you can talk on Telegram, the open community.
Yes. Yeah. We keep forgetting that. Telegram is new for me. I just discovered it, and I was looking according to your guys, because we are here just to provide content for you, but we want to continue, it's this dialogue, right, off the stream as well. So I looked at different opportunities. Like Facebook's died out; nobody's using Facebook. Elon Musk, I hope you develop some form of community chat line where you can create groups and chat and add people on. WhatsApp is too, I don't know, bulky. Like you get constantly bombarded on WhatsApp, and even if you have WhatsApp, you don't really. If you add people, you don't see the names; you just see the phone numbers. So it's hard to follow. But with what I discovered with Telegram, it's people join, and you have actually the picture, and you have the name of the person, so you know exactly who is who, right? Let's say. So I just created this WhatsApp group, not Telegram group today. I invited Jarvis, who's never used it before either. I was never using it before as well, and it was like, wow. That's really, really good. So, guys, if you do want to join up a community chat, it's on Telegram. If you go to the, how do I describe it? In the main page of the channel, you see the banner, you see all the socials, and you will see Telegram. Just click on that, and you will automatically get a link there to join the community. So please welcome, guys. Welcome. And I'm just new to TikToking as well. So I don't use Instagram that much, but it's good to have Instagram. I think that Instagram has kind of died out a bit. Like I like the way Discord. No, man, I don't like Discord, man.
Telegram is basically better than Discord.
Telegram is better than Discord, to be honest. Discord is just a server,
I feel like the
With
best
Telegram,
social media app is Twitter, and it's not even close.
yeah, but at least if Elon Musk can kind of develops different solutions now, because it's been underdeveloped. Like they haven't done anything with the Bluebird. Now I think he's looking to. He brought in what's his name that got fired from Fox News. He's broadcasting on Twitter. He broke the internet. What's his name? That news anchor that got fired by.
Yeah. Fox News.
Yeah, what was his name? I really like him.
Yeah,
I don't know who you're talking about.
Fuck. Okay, guys, help me in the VR room. What's the name of the guy at Fox News that got fired in broadcasting on Twitter?
Someone said Tucker Carlson.
Tucker
Yeah,
Carlson. Tucker,
Yeah,
legend Tucker.
Tucker
He
Carlson.
did a deal. Yeah, he did a deal with Elon Musk to say, I will only broadcast on Twitter. And his first episode broke the views on Twitter. But what I want to do with what Elon Musk should do is to give us an opportunity to integrate the spaces with YouTube so we can broadcast it, right? Right now,
That
it's
would be
just
amazing.
that would be amazing. So imagine you have like a global fan base talking open mic on YouTube, and you can do that. Sorry.
That would be very good for you guys, the people that make content.
Yeah. Right, guys. God, I'm just trying to catch up with everyone in this chat. Tucker. Yeah, Telegram is excellent, according to Simon, that just joined as well. He was first of the. So big up to all of you. I think it's time to go. I think I'm
What
knackered.
time is it where you guys are right now?
It's 1:10. I'm in Sweden, and Jarvis is in Norway. So yeah.
Okay.
Whew. Guys,
Going
good
to work
night.
tomorrow morning. I have to.
You have
drive
work
my kids
tomorrow. Yeah.
to school and kindergarten and everything. So
Time to say goodbye. Craig Warby, great. I think we provided some good vibes here in all of this
It
confusion
was
today.
very
So
nice talking to you for the first time, Mick.
you too.
Class as usual, just like on Twitter. And nice meeting you, Jarvis.
yeah,
Anytime,
thank you for
anytime,
coming
guys.
This
on.
is the second time I see you. I think was it yesterday when you was Nuruddin as well. I met you.
Yeah.
In the chat because I was not talking, but I was reading and everything. So yeah, you guys
All
are
right,
very amazing
cool.
and yeah, very good
Thank
community,
you.
man.
Guys, I just want to before we finish, just a little bit of reminder. Okay, just a little bit feel good. Hang on a second.
Where's the next year? Istanbul or where? Chelsea fan. Yeah. Book the hotel. Put it in the diary. Yeah.
I guess that Liverpool fans will have insomnia for playing in Europa League, and we will dine at the fine tables on Tuesday nights. Just finishing on a positive note, at least leaving something. Cheers, lads. Jarvis, Mick, already enjoyed tonight's show. Bloody brilliant. You too, United Devil. I hope you enjoyed this last bit because there's kind of a reminder what's to come for next season. Unico, thanks for coming on, having your say. And
Thank you very much, Mick. Thank you.
Anyone can come and have a say,
Pleasure.
and we always say we'll give you back the day, but it's night, so we'll give back your midnights. Thank you, Jarvis.
By the way, Mick, I just remembered a question.
Mm.
It's from last year during the Young Saga. You was speaking to this guy on Twitter. I forgot his name, but apparently he got caught out to be like a fraud or something like that. Like he started lying. I forgot his name. Was it something Banks?
I don't know, man.
Fake account or something like that.
I don't know. That was a weird situation in a different time, in different place, where the fan base was kind of torn apart in a way. We're not here to talk about that. Let's move on. That's that was toxic. There was toxic times when the team was not performing well. We were down tooling. It was kind of an obsession by certain people, and that's it. But
the positive side.
Turn the page, mate. Turn the page. That's what we hear. Jarvis, you look knackered. I'm knackered too, man. Okay. We see what we do tomorrow. Tomorrow might be something with Papi.
Maybe we wake up tomorrow and then something good news comes up.
Yeah. Thanks, you Unicorn, for having your say, and have a good night.
Welcome.
Cheers,
have
buddy.
a good night, guys.
Cheers.
You too, bye. So, Jarvis, tomorrow we have probably a Papi hour with our friend Botswana Papi.
Yes, the quiz show. Everybody should join in and watch. That's funny, especially for us.
Yeah. So people dropped off. We are 200 people now. Big up to all of you that stayed with us. A midnight vibe and therapy session. It's been Mick Ruby holding up the sanity. And big up chat to you all legends. Big up to all of you in the VR room. Big up to the moderators. And yeah, Jarvis, thank you so much. Say hello to your family and your wife, and I should see you tomorrow. Guys, good night, and don't let the bed bugs bite. That's what you say. Good night, people. Cheers. Thank you for all that, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.